Life has a way of testing us constantly, pushing us to control every little detail. The outcomes, the timing, how people respond to our efforts. The more we try to force it, the more frustrated and exhausted we become. We plan every step, believing that if we just try harder, push more, and never let go, things will finally fall into place. But what if I told you that the secret to success isn't in the hustle, but in the release? That by letting go and trusting the universe, you actually unlock the flow of everything you desire. Today we're going to dive into the art of surrender and why everything you've been chasing is already on its way to you. In Buddhism, we deeply understand that the universe is not a random force, but one that responds directly to the energy we emit. This energy is what we call our vibration, and it's constantly sending out signals to the universe about what we truly believe we deserve. When we operate from a place of desperation, frantically trying to control outcomes, we're actually broadcasting a frequency of lack and fear. This desperate energy tells the universe that we don't trust it to provide for us, that we believe scarcity is our natural state. Think about it this way: when you're desperately chasing someone's attention, they can feel that neediness and it often pushes them away. The same principle applies to everything we desire in life. The universe reads our energetic signature, not our surface-level actions. You might be working 18-hour days, networking frantically, and pushing yourself to exhaustion. But if your underlying vibration is one of fear and desperation, you're actually repelling what you want most. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle despite working twice as hard. The difference isn't in the amount of effort, but in the quality of energy behind that effort. When we shift from desperate pushing to aligned action, everything changes. Our culture has conditioned us to believe that control equals safety and success. We've been taught that if we can just manage every variable, predict every outcome, and force every situation to bend to our will, we'll finally achieve the security and happiness we crave. But this approach is not only exhausting, it's fundamentally flawed. The truth is, the more tightly we grip, the more life seems to slip through our fingers. This isn't coincidence, it's the natural law of energy and flow. When we try to control everything, we create resistance in the very fabric of our experience. We become like someone trying to swim upstream against a powerful current, expending enormous energy while making little progress. The physiological effects of this constant control are devastating to our well-being. Our nervous systems remain in a perpetual state of high alert, flooding our bodies with stress hormones that weren't meant to be sustained long-term. We develop anxiety disorders, insomnia, digestive issues, and chronic fatigue because we're fighting against the natural flow of life itself. Meanwhile, we watch others who seem to glide through challenges with ease, attracting exactly what they need at exactly the right time. These people haven't discovered some secret technique or hidden advantage. They've simply learned to work with the universe rather than against it. True surrender is perhaps the most misunderstood concept in personal development. It's not about giving up, becoming passive, or accepting mediocrity. Sacred surrender is actually the highest form of intelligent action. It's the recognition that there are forces at work in the universe far greater and more intelligent than our limited human perspective can comprehend. When we surrender, we're not abandoning our dreams or goals. We're releasing our death grip on how and when those dreams must manifest. We're opening ourselves to possibilities that our controlling minds could never have imagined. Think of surrender as tuning into a cosmic GPS system that has access to information we simply cannot see from our current vantage point. This system knows about traffic jams ahead, scenic routes that will bring unexpected joy, and connections that will change our lives forever. But we can only access this guidance when we stop insisting that we know the best route. Surrender requires tremendous courage because it asks us to trust in something beyond our immediate perception. It asks us to have faith that the universe is not indifferent to our well-being, but actively conspiring to bring us exactly what serves our highest good. This doesn't mean we become passive observers of our lives. Instead, we learn to take inspired action, moving when we feel called to move and resting when rest is needed. We begin to recognize the difference between forced action born from fear and inspired action born from alignment. When we master this art, we discover that everything we've been chasing through force and control was always meant to come to us through grace and flow. The opportunities, the relationships, the abundance, the peace we seek are not rewards for our struggle, but natural expressions of our aligned state. This is the profound paradox of surrender. By letting go of our need to control everything, we actually gain access to everything we truly desire. The universe has been waiting for us to stop pushing against it, so it can finally give us what we've been asking for all along. Think of your vibration as the frequency you operate on. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs all create a kind of energetic output that broadcasts into the universe like a radio signal. If you are vibrating with calmness, trust, and positivity, you are sending out a message of abundance and peace. The universe, in turn, responds by aligning your reality with those same vibrations, bringing you more of what you are projecting. However, when we are desperate, filled with anxiety, and constantly chasing after what we think we need, our vibration changes dramatically. In those moments of desperation, we are not aligning with the flow of the universe. Instead, we are telling the universe that we are in a state of lack. Desperation is a powerful force, but it works against you in ways that most people never realize. When you are desperately trying to make things happen, you're sending out a message of need rather than one of abundance. The universe doesn't hear your need, it hears the lack, and it responds by reinforcing that very scarcity you're trying to escape. Think about it this way: when you meet someone who is desperately seeking approval, what happens? Their neediness actually repels people rather than attracting them. The same principle applies to manifestation. The energy of desperation creates a frequency that pushes away the very things we want most. This is why the harder you chase something, the more elusive it becomes. Your desperation creates resistance in the quantum field around you. It's like trying to catch a butterfly by running after it frantically. The more aggressive your pursuit, the more it flies away. But sit still in a garden with flowers, and the butterfly may land gently on your shoulder. Every emotion carries a specific frequency, and these frequencies attract matching experiences into our lives. Fear vibrates at a low frequency and attracts more fearful situations. Love vibrates at a high frequency and attracts loving experiences. Gratitude vibrates at the frequency of abundance and draws more abundance. When you operate from a place of trust and inner peace, you're broadcasting a signal that says, "I already have everything I need." This creates what scientists call coherence between your heart and mind. Your nervous system relaxes, your thinking becomes clearer, and you naturally make better decisions. You begin to notice opportunities that were always there, but were invisible to your anxious, desperate mind. People are drawn to your calm confidence. Synchronicities begin to occur with increasing frequency. This is not magic, it's the natural result of operating from a coherent, aligned state. Modern quantum physics tells us that everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Your thoughts and emotions are not just abstract concepts, they are measurable electromagnetic fields that extend beyond your physical body. The HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive research showing that our emotional states create distinct patterns in our heart rhythm. When we experience appreciation, care, or compassion, our heart rhythm becomes coherent and ordered. This coherent heart rhythm influences our brain function, improving our ability to think clearly and make wise decisions. But when we experience anxiety, frustration, or desperation, our heart rhythm becomes chaotic and disordered. This incoherent state impairs our cognitive function and our ability to perceive solutions and opportunities. The implications of this research are profound. Your emotional state is literally shaping your reality by affecting what you can perceive and how others respond to you. When you shift your vibration from desperation to appreciation, you're not just changing your inner experience, you're changing the electromagnetic field you project, which influences how the world responds to you. The first step in breaking free from desperate energy is recognizing when you're caught in it. Desperation feels urgent, tight, and consuming. Your breathing becomes shallow, your muscles tense, and your mind races with worst-case scenarios. You feel like you must act immediately or something terrible will happen. This urgency is actually a sign that you've disconnected from your natural flow. When you notice these signals, the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, what would I do right now if I already had everything I wanted? This simple question shifts your vibration instantly from lack to abundance. Instead of asking, how can I get what I need? You're asking, how would I act if I were already fulfilled? This shift in perspective changes everything. You begin to make decisions from a place of wholeness rather than emptiness. Your actions become inspired rather than desperate. And the universe responds to this new frequency by bringing you experiences that match your elevated state. The key is remembering that your vibration is always within your control, regardless of your external circumstances. You can choose to vibrate at the frequency of your desires rather than the frequency of your fears. This is the secret that transforms ordinary people into powerful manifestors. When you find yourself caught in the endless cycle of forcing outcomes, pushing against closed doors, and desperately chasing your desires, you create an energetic resistance that actually repels what you want most. This phenomenon occurs because the universe operates on vibrational frequencies, and desperation carries one of the lowest and most repelling frequencies possible. Think about it this way: when someone approaches you with desperate energy, needy and grasping, your natural instinct is to pull away. The universe responds to us in exactly the same manner. True surrender is not about giving up on your dreams or becoming passive in your approach to life. Instead, it's about releasing your death grip on how and when your desires must manifest. When you surrender control, you're not abandoning your goals. You're simply opening yourself to receive them in ways that might be even better than what you originally imagined. Consider the difference between a clenched fist and an open palm. A clenched fist can hold nothing new, while an open palm can receive unlimited gifts. Your energy works the same way. When you approach your desires with trust rather than desperation, you create space for the universe to deliver solutions you never could have orchestrated yourself. Many people fear that letting go means they'll become lazy or lose their drive, but authentic surrender actually requires tremendous strength and self-mastery. It takes courage to trust the process when you can't see the entire path ahead. It takes wisdom to know when to act and when to allow. It takes faith to believe that your desires are already on their way to you, even when external evidence suggests otherwise. The universe operates on perfect timing, orchestrating millions of variables to bring you exactly what you need when you're truly ready to receive it. When you force timing, you often end up settling for less than what was originally intended for you. Think about a fruit that's picked before it's ripe. It may look like what you want, but it lacks the sweetness and nourishment of fruit that's allowed to mature naturally. Your manifestations work the same way. The universe is constantly arranging people, circumstances, and opportunities to align perfectly for your highest good. But this divine choreography requires your cooperation through trust and patience. When you push too hard, you disrupt this delicate process and often end up with forced outcomes that don't truly satisfy you. Strategic surrender means taking inspired action while remaining unattached to specific outcomes. You plant the seeds through your intentions and actions, then you trust the universe to handle the growth process. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you stay alert for opportunities while releasing the need to control every detail of how your desires unfold. Your vibration is like a radio frequency that broadcasts your internal state to the universe. When you vibrate from a place of lack, fear, or desperation, you attract experiences that match those frequencies. But when you shift into trust, abundance, and calm confidence, you begin broadcasting a completely different signal. This vibrational shift is tangible and immediate. You can literally feel the difference in your body when you move from pushing energy to allowing energy. Pushing feels tight, constricted, and exhausting. Allowing feels expansive, peaceful, and energizing. The universe responds to this new frequency by sending you signs, synchronicities, and opportunities that align with your elevated state. People begin showing up in your life who can help you. Resources become available that weren't there before. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. This isn't magic. It's the natural result of aligning your energy with the flow of universal abundance, rather than swimming against it. Desperation repels because it carries the energy of lack and fear. It says to the universe, I don't have what I want, I'm afraid I'll never get it, and I need it now. This energy pushes away the very things you're trying to attract. Confidence, on the other hand, is magnetic because it carries the energy of knowing and trust. It says to the universe, I know my desires are on their way to me, I trust the process, and I'm open to receiving them in perfect timing. This shift from desperation to confidence isn't about pretending you don't want what you want. It's about approaching your desires from a place of worthiness rather than neediness. When you know you deserve good things and trust that they're coming, you naturally relax into a more attractive, energetic state. The key is remembering that the universe is always responding to your dominant vibration, not your words or even your actions. You can take all the right steps, but if you're vibrating with doubt and desperation, you'll continue attracting experiences that match that energy. However, when you align your vibration with trust and abundance, even simple actions become powerfully magnetic. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract opportunities, while others struggle despite working twice as hard. The difference isn't in their actions, it's in their energetic approach to those actions. When you master the art of strategic surrender, you discover that the universe becomes your greatest ally, conspiring to bring you everything you desire in ways more beautiful than you ever imagined possible. When we try to grasp too tightly to what we want, we create the very resistance that blocks it from coming to us. This is one of the most profound paradoxes of manifestation, and one that most people struggle to understand. We live in a culture that glorifies control, planning, and forcing outcomes through sheer willpower. But the universe operates on a completely different principle, one that requires us to master the delicate balance between intention and surrender. The more we try to control things, the more we actually block the natural flow of life. It's human nature to want control because control feels safe. We want to plan, to predict, to ensure that everything goes our way according to our timeline and our specific vision. But when we hold on to this need for control, we create resistance both within ourselves and with the universe. Think of it like trying to catch a butterfly. The more aggressively you chase it, the more it flutters away from you. But if you sit quietly and extend your hand with patience, it may land gently on your palm. Our need to control often stems from fear. Fear that things won't work out, Fear that we're not worthy of what we want. Fear that the universe doesn't have our back. This fear causes us to grip tightly to our desires, micromanaging every detail and trying to force outcomes. But imagine trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. When we approach our desires with this same desperate energy, we push them away. The universe responds to our energetic vibration, not just our actions. When we're coming from a place of fear and control, we're vibrating at a frequency of lack and desperation. This energy actually repels what we want, because it's saying to the universe, I don't trust that this will come to me naturally. Instead of flowing with the current of life, we're swimming against it, exhausting ourselves in the process. The key is learning to hold our desires lightly, like a bird in our open palm. We can appreciate its beauty and enjoy its presence, but we don't close our fist around it. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go of control is trusting in divine timing. We live in an instant gratification society where we expect immediate results. We order something online and expect it within days. We send a text and expect an immediate response. We set a goal and want to see progress within weeks. But the universe operates on a much grander timeline, one that takes into account factors we can't even see. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine protection. Sometimes what seems like a rejection is actually a redirection towards something better. The universe sees the full picture, while we only see our small piece of it. When we try to force our timing onto the universe's plan, we create friction and struggle. But when we align ourselves with divine timing, everything flows with remarkable ease. This doesn't mean we become passive or stop taking action. It means we take inspired action while remaining open to how and when our desires unfold. We plant the seed, water it with our attention and care, but we don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. Letting go of control requires us to cultivate what I call the energy of allowing. This is a state of receptive openness where we're actively engaged with life while remaining unattached to specific outcomes. When we're in the energy of allowing, we're saying to the universe, I know what I want, I'm taking steps toward it, and I trust you to deliver it in the perfect way in perfect time. This energy feels completely different from the energy of forcing. Forcing feels tight, anxious, and desperate. Allowing feels spacious, peaceful, and confident. People can feel the difference in your energy, and more importantly, the universe responds differently to these two vibrations. When you're forcing, you're essentially telling the universe that you don't trust its ability to deliver. When you're allowing, you're expressing complete faith in the process. Think about the most successful and fulfilled people you know. They tend to have a quality of ease about them, as if good things naturally flow to them. This isn't because they're lucky or special. It's because they've learned to work with the universe rather than against it. They understand that their job is to be clear about what they want, take inspired action, and then get out of the way. Learning to let go of control is a practice that requires patience and compassion with yourself. Start by noticing when you're gripping too tightly to an outcome. Your body will give you clues: tension in your shoulders, tightness in your chest, a feeling of anxiety or urgency. These are signals that you've moved from allowing into forcing. When you notice this happening, take a deep breath and consciously relax your grip. Remind yourself that your desires are already making their way to you, and that your job is to stay open and receptive. Practice saying phrases like, "This or something better," and "I trust in divine timing." These affirmations help shift your energy from control to surrender. Create space in your life for stillness and reflection. When we're constantly busy and distracted, we can't hear the subtle guidance the universe is trying to give us. Regular meditation, quiet walks in nature, or simply sitting in silence can help you tune into this guidance. The more you practice releasing control, the more you'll notice how much easier life becomes. Opportunities will appear with perfect timing. Solutions will present themselves when you need them. And you'll find yourself in the right place at the right time more often. This isn't magic, it's alignment. When you stop fighting the current of life and start flowing with it, you discover that the universe truly is conspiring in your favor. Your desires aren't just possible. They're inevitable when you learn to get out of your own way and trust the process. This isn't about sitting back and doing nothing, waiting for life to happen to you. True surrender is far more sophisticated than passive waiting. It's about understanding the delicate dance between inspired action and divine timing. Think of a skilled surfer who doesn't try to control the ocean, but learns to read the waves, positioning themselves perfectly to ride the natural power of the water. The surfer takes action, paddling at the right moment, but they don't try to force the wave to be bigger or smaller, or arrive on their preferred schedule. This is the essence of active surrender in life. When you operate from this place of conscious cooperation with universal forces, you discover that your efforts become exponentially more effective. You stop swimming against the current and start moving with the natural flow of energy that's already carrying you toward your highest good. The universe has its own intelligence, its own perfect timing, and when you align with this rhythm rather than fighting it, miracles become commonplace. Consider how a flower doesn't strain to bloom. It doesn't worry about whether it's growing fast enough or compare itself to other flowers. It simply receives the sunlight, absorbs the nutrients from the soil, and allows its natural unfolding to occur. Yet the flower isn't passive. It's actively participating in its own growth by staying open to what it needs. This is the model for conscious living, where you remain receptive to opportunities while taking the actions that feel aligned and inspired. The need to control every detail stems from a fundamental misunderstanding about how manifestation actually works. Many people believe that if they don't orchestrate every single step, their dreams won't come true. But this controlling energy actually creates resistance that blocks the very flow they're trying to direct. When you try to force specific people to behave in certain ways, or demand that opportunities arrive exactly when and how you expect them, you're essentially telling the universe that you don't trust its ability to deliver. This lack of trust creates a vibrational barrier between you and your desires. The universe responds to your energy, not just your words or actions. When your energy says, "I don't trust you to handle this properly," the universe respectfully steps back and lets you handle it all yourself. But when your energy says, "I trust you completely to bring me what's best for me in the perfect way and timing," the universe can fully support you with its infinite resources and intelligence. This shift from controlling to trusting doesn't happen overnight, especially if you've spent years believing that everything depends on your personal effort and manipulation. It requires developing a new relationship with uncertainty, learning to see the unknown not as threatening, but as full of infinite possibility. The most beautiful manifestations often come in ways we never could have planned or imagined, through synchronicities and connections that our limited human perspective couldn't have orchestrated. The act of letting go of control doesn't just apply to external circumstances, but also to your internal world. If you are constantly trying to control your thoughts, emotions, and reactions out of fear or anxiety, you are creating internal resistance that prevents you from experiencing the deep peace and relief that comes with true surrender. Your mind might tell you that if you don't monitor every thought, you'll somehow attract negative experiences. But this hypervigilance actually keeps you in a state of stress and separation from your natural state of well-being. True emotional mastery isn't about controlling your feelings, but but about allowing them to flow through you without resistance, while maintaining your connection to your deeper truth. When you try to force yourself to feel grateful when you're actually feeling frustrated, or pretend to be confident when you're genuinely scared, you create internal conflict that blocks your natural flow of energy. Instead, you can acknowledge whatever you're feeling with compassion while simultaneously choosing to focus on what you want to create. This isn't about positive thinking or denial. It's about emotional honesty combined with conscious choice. You can say, yes, I'm feeling anxious about this situation, and I'm also choosing to trust that everything is working out for my highest good. This approach allows your emotions to move through you naturally while keeping you aligned with your desired outcome. When you stop fighting your own emotional experience, you free up enormous amounts of energy that were previously tied up in internal resistance. One of the most challenging aspects of surrender is trusting timing that doesn't match your personal preferences. You might feel ready for your soulmate, your dream job, or your creative breakthrough right now, but the universe might have a different schedule in mind. This isn't because the universe is withholding good things from you or testing your patience. It's because there are often invisible preparations happening behind the scenes that need to be completed before your desire can manifest in the most beneficial way. Sometimes you need to develop certain skills, heal particular patterns, or meet specific people before you're truly ready for what you've asked for. Other times, external circumstances need to align in ways you can't see or understand from your current vantage point. The person who's meant to be your business partner might still be completing their own journey of preparation. The perfect location for your new home might not be available yet because the current owners need to complete their own life transition. When you trust divine timing, you can relax into the present moment instead of constantly pushing against what is. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means continuing to take inspired action while releasing your attachment to specific timelines and outcomes. You can prepare for your desires, develop your skills, and stay open to opportunities while simultaneously trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This trust creates a sense of deep peace and relief that transforms your entire experience of life. Instead of constantly feeling behind or worried that you're missing out, you can rest in the knowing that you are exactly where you need to be, learning exactly what you need to learn, and growing exactly as you need to grow. When you truly embody this trust, you discover that the journey itself becomes as fulfilling as the destination, and often more so. You release internal tension, and that's when the magic happens. The universe responds to that openness and willingness to trust. Letting go of control doesn't mean you give up on your goals or desires. It means you stop forcing them. It means you allow space for miracles to happen. Knowing that what's meant for you will come in its own time, you create space for opportunities, blessings, and solutions to emerge naturally without interference. The more you try to control, the more you block. When you let go, you create a space where everything you desire can come to you effortlessly. Trust in the process and watch the universe begin to move in ways you could never have imagined. There comes a pivotal moment in every person's journey when they stop begging for what they want and start recognizing what they deserve. This shift isn't about becoming entitled or demanding. It's about understanding a fundamental truth that many spend their entire lives overlooking. You are inherently worthy of love, abundance, joy, and all the beautiful experiences life has to offer. This worthiness isn't something you earn through achievements, good behavior, or meeting other people's expectations. It's woven into the very fabric of your being. Yet so many of us operate from a place of scarcity, constantly trying to prove our value to the world and to ourselves. We chase external validation, accumulate possessions, and exhaust ourselves trying to become worthy of the life we desire. But here's what changes everything. The moment you recognize that you already are worthy, you stop operating from desperation and start operating from abundance. When you truly understand your inherent value, you no longer beg the universe for scraps. Instead, you open yourself to receive the fullness of what life wants to give you. This recognition creates a fundamental shift in your energy. Where you once approached life with clenched fists and a racing heart, you now extend open palms and breathe deeply. The universe responds to this energetic shift immediately. Your beliefs about your worthiness directly create your lived experience. If you believe you're not deserving of love, you'll unconsciously push away people who try to get close to you. If you believe you don't deserve financial abundance, you'll find ways to sabotage opportunities or talk yourself out of pursuing them. If you believe you're not worthy of respect, you'll accept treatment that reinforces this belief. The universe is neutral. It doesn't judge whether you deserve good things or bad things. It simply responds to the energy you're putting out. When you operate from a belief in your unworthiness, you emit an energy of lack, desperation, and scarcity. The universe mirrors this back to you through experiences that confirm these beliefs. But when you shift into recognizing your worthiness, your energy transforms. You begin to emit frequencies of abundance, confidence, and openness. The universe responds by bringing you experiences that match this new energetic signature. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is perfect. It's about aligning with a deeper truth about your nature and value. Buddhist teachings have long understood this connection between inner perception and outer experience. They teach that our external world is a reflection of our internal state. When we see ourselves as lacking or unworthy, we create suffering in our lives. When we recognize our Buddha nature, our inherent perfection and completeness, we open to experiencing peace and abundance. Most of the barriers between you and what you desire aren't external. They're energetic walls you've built through years of negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. These barriers are invisible but incredibly powerful. They cause you to hesitate when opportunities arise, to settle for less than you truly want, and to unconsciously sabotage your own success. Recognizing your worthiness begins to dissolve these barriers. When you know you deserve good things, you stop talking yourself out of pursuing them. When you believe you're worthy of love, you stop pushing people away or accepting poor treatment. When you understand your value, you stop undercharging for your services or undervaluing your contributions. This shift often happens gradually, then suddenly. You might notice small changes first, speaking up in meetings, setting healthier boundaries, or pursuing opportunities you previously would have dismissed. Then one day you realize you're living a completely different life, one that actually reflects your worth rather than your fears. The key is to start embodying your worthiness before you see external proof of it. This means making decisions from a place of knowing you deserve better, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise. It means treating yourself with the respect and care you would give to someone you deeply love. It means expecting good things to come your way because you understand that you're a valuable part of this universe. When you begin to live as if you're worthy of all the love, abundance, and joy you desire, the universe takes notice. Opportunities begin to appear. People treat you differently. Doors open that were previously closed. This isn't magic, though it might feel like it. It's the natural result of aligning your energy with your truth. Your worthiness isn't something you need to create or earn. It's something you need to remember and embody. The moment you stop begging and start receiving is the moment your entire life begins to transform. The moment you truly believe you are worthy of your desires is the moment everything shifts. But here's what most people miss about worthiness. It's not about convincing yourself you deserve good things through positive affirmations or mental gymnastics. True worthiness is a quiet, knowing that settles deep in your bones. It's the recognition that you don't need to earn what is already yours by divine right. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that we must struggle for everything we want. We've been taught that good things come to those who hustle harder, work longer, and sacrifice more. This belief system creates a fundamental energetic misalignment. When you believe you must earn your worthiness, you're operating from a place of lack. You're telling the universe that you don't already possess what you need. But worthiness isn't something you achieve through external validation or accomplishments. It's your natural state of being. Think about a newborn baby. That child doesn't question whether they deserve love, care, or attention. They simply receive what they need because they know on a cellular level that they are worthy of receiving. Somewhere along the way, most of us lose this innate understanding. We start believing we need to prove our worth through our actions, achievements, or how much we can endure. This is where the struggle begins. When you operate from unworthiness, you create resistance in your energy field. You push against the natural flow of abundance that wants to reach you. Instead of receiving with grace, you grasp with desperation. Instead of allowing with ease, you force with effort. The universe responds to your energetic state, not your words or wishes. If your energy says, "I don't deserve this," that's exactly what you'll experience. But when your energy radiates quiet confidence in your inherent worthiness, everything changes. In Buddhism, there's a profound understanding that true wisdom and clarity come from silence. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It is the space where true insight arises. When we quiet our minds, we allow ourselves to hear the whispers of the universe. In the silence, we create room for the deeper truths to reveal themselves. Think of it like a still lake. When the surface is calm and undisturbed, you can see everything clearly beneath the surface. But when the waters are churned up with waves of thought, anxiety, and distraction, nothing is visible. It's only when we embrace the silence within ourselves that we can begin to see the answers we've been searching for. Most people are always thinking, always reacting, always moving in a constant state of mental and emotional turbulence. This constant agitation clouds their ability to receive clear guidance from their intuition and the universe. But when you learn to cultivate inner stillness, something remarkable happens. Your energy becomes magnetic instead of desperate. Your presence becomes powerful instead of pushy. Your manifestations become effortless instead of forced. Silence is also a powerful force in our external lives. In a world where everyone is shouting for attention, speaking more, and competing for the loudest voice, silence can be your greatest strength. By choosing when to speak and when to remain quiet, you command respect and attention in ways that constant chatter never could. There's a profound difference between the silence of withdrawal and the silence of presence. Withdrawal silence comes from fear, insecurity, or disconnection. Present silence comes from deep inner knowing, confidence, and connection to something greater than yourself. When you embody present silence, people feel your energy before you even speak. They sense your depth, your wisdom, and your unshakable sense of self-worth. The intersection of worthiness and silence creates a powerful manifestation state. When you know you're worthy, and you're not desperately grasping for proof of that worthiness, you naturally settle into a peaceful confidence. This peaceful confidence becomes a magnet for everything you desire. You're no longer chasing opportunities because you trust they will come to you. You're no longer trying to convince others of your value because you know your worth isn't up for debate. You're no longer anxious about outcomes because you understand that what's meant for you cannot miss you. This doesn't mean you become passive or inactive. Instead, You become strategically selective about where you invest your energy. You act from inspiration rather than desperation. You speak from wisdom rather than fear. You create from abundance rather than lack. The beautiful paradox is that the less you need external validation of your worthiness, the more it flows to you naturally. People are drawn to those who don't need their approval. Opportunities gravitate toward those who aren't desperately seeking them. Love finds those who aren't frantically searching for it. This is the sacred art of worthy stillness. It's about holding your desires lightly while knowing deeply that you deserve to receive them. It's about taking inspired action while remaining unattached to specific outcomes. It's about speaking your truth while being comfortable with silence. When you master this balance, you become unstoppable not through force, but through alignment. Your worthiness becomes a quiet certainty that permeates everything you do. Your stillness becomes a source of strength that others can feel and respect. And your manifestations begin flowing to you with an ease that feels almost magical. Remember, you don't need to earn what you already are. You are worthy not because of what you do, but because of who you are. In the quiet moments when you stop trying to prove this truth and simply embody it, the universe responds with everything you've been seeking. Choosing to remain silent in the face of chaos, you not only protect your own peace, but also send a message to the universe that you are in control of your inner state. This silence doesn't mean weakness or avoidance. It's the strength of knowing that you don't need to add to the noise. Sometimes the most powerful actions come from saying nothing at all. The more we fill our lives with noise, the less room there is for the universe to communicate with us. We get caught in the illusion that we need to talk, act, or react to make things happen. But the truth is, the universe often speaks in whispers, subtle nudges, and quiet guidance. If we are constantly talking, worrying, or overthinking, we block the messages that could lead us to the right path. Silence, on the other hand, allows us to tap into a deeper connection with ourselves and the universe. By embracing silence, we find clarity. We become more aligned with the natural flow of life. Think of silence as creating a vacuum for the universe to fill. When we constantly push force and demand immediate results, we create energetic resistance. It's like trying to fill a glass that's already overflowing with our own anxious thoughts and desperate actions. But when we step back into stillness, we empty that glass completely. We make space for something greater than our limited perspective to enter. This isn't about becoming passive or giving up on our dreams. It's about recognizing that there's a difference between inspired action and frantic activity. Inspired action comes from a place of calm knowing. It feels effortless, even when it requires effort. Frantic activity, on the other hand, comes from fear and impatience. It feels forced and exhausting, even when we're not doing much. The universe operates on perfect timing, but our anxiety creates interference with that timing. When we're calm and silent, we become like a clear radio receiver, able to pick up the subtle signals that guide us toward our highest good. When we're noisy and chaotic, we're like a radio filled with static, missing the very guidance we desperately need. Consider how nature demonstrates this principle perfectly. A tree doesn't strain to grow. It simply provides the right conditions, roots itself deeply, and allows the natural process to unfold. The most magnificent oak tree grows not through force, but through patient alignment with natural laws. You are no different. Your dreams and desires have their own natural timing and pathway to manifestation. Your job isn't to micromanage every detail or force every door open. Your job is to become so internally aligned and peaceful that you naturally attract the right opportunities, people, and circumstances. This alignment happens in the quiet moments. It happens when you stop trying to figure everything out with your mind and start trusting the intelligence that created the entire universe. That same intelligence that orchestrates the movement of planets and the changing of seasons is also orchestrating the fulfillment of your deepest desires. But it needs your cooperation, not your interference. Your cooperation comes in the form of inner stillness, trust, and receptivity. When you cultivate these qualities, you become a clear channel through which the universe can work. You stop being an obstacle to your own manifestations and start being a willing participant in their creation. There's a beautiful paradox in manifestation that many people struggle to understand. The more desperately you want something, the more you push it away. The more you can want something while remaining detached to how and when it arrives, the faster it tends to manifest. This detachment isn't indifference. It's a deep knowing that what's meant for you cannot miss you, and what's not meant for you would never truly fulfill you anyway. When you operate from this knowing, you engage with your goals and dreams from a place of joy rather than need. You take action because it feels good and right, not because you're afraid of what will happen if you don't. This shift in energy is everything. Need repels, joy attracts, desperation creates distance, peace creates magnetism. The universe responds not to your words or even your actions, but to your energetic state. When your energetic state is one of calm confidence and trust, you become irresistible to the very things you desire. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop forcing and start allowing. You stop talking and start listening. In the space of that listening, in the power of that silence, miracles become not just possible, but inevitable. The universe has been trying to give you everything you want. Your silence finally gives it permission to deliver. In a world that never stops moving, where notifications ping every few seconds, and society demands instant responses to everything, finding stillness within ourselves has become a revolutionary act. It's not about ignoring the world around us or retreating from life's responsibilities. It's about discovering that sacred space within where calmness resides, regardless of external circumstances. When you cultivate this inner stillness, something remarkable happens. You begin to hear the subtle cues that lead you directly to your desires. These whispers from the universe have always been there, but they were drowned out by the constant noise of worry, anxiety, and the relentless pursuit of forcing outcomes. Think of it like tuning into a radio frequency. When there's static and interference, you can't hear the music clearly, but when you find that perfect frequency, the signal comes through crystal clear. Your inner stillness is that perfect frequency for receiving universal guidance. The ancient masters understood this principle deeply. They knew that silence speaks louder than noise, that in the quiet spaces between thoughts, profound wisdom emerges. It is in this silence that we find our true strength, our authentic direction, and our genuine connection to the universe. We live in an era of instant everything. Instant coffee, instant messages, instant entertainment, instant solutions. This conditioning has trained our minds to expect that everything we desire should manifest immediately. We want success now. We want happiness delivered to our doorstep, like a package from an online order. We want love to appear on schedule, financial abundance to arrive by a specific date, and all our dreams to unfold according to our carefully crafted timelines. But here's what Buddhism teaches us about this approach. The universe doesn't operate on our schedule. It doesn't follow the timelines we create in our anxious minds or the deadlines we impose on our desires. The universe works on its own divine rhythm, a rhythm that's perfectly orchestrated for our highest good, even when we can't see the bigger picture. When we try to force the universe to match our timeline, we create resistance. It's like trying to push a river to flow faster or demanding that a flower bloom before its season. The energy we put into forcing creates tension, and tension blocks the natural flow of manifestation. Consider how nature operates. A seed doesn't stress about when it will become a tree. It simply focuses on growing, trusting that the right conditions will present themselves at the perfect time. The seasons don't rush. Spring doesn't arrive early because we're tired of winter. Everything in nature follows a divine timing that creates perfect harmony and balance. There's profound wisdom in trusting this sacred timing, even when it challenges our desire for immediate results. Every delay, every seeming setback, every moment of waiting is actually the universe orchestrating circumstances behind the scenes. While you're wondering why your desires haven't manifested yet, the universe might be preparing you to receive them in a way that's sustainable and aligned with your highest good. Perhaps you need to develop certain qualities first. Maybe there are lessons to learn, skills to acquire, or inner healing that needs to happen before you're ready to handle what you've asked for. Sometimes the universe is rearranging circumstances, moving people into position, creating opportunities that will serve not just your immediate desire, but your long-term fulfillment. Think about the times in your life when something you desperately wanted didn't happen when you wanted it to happen. Looking back now, can you see how the timing actually worked out perfectly? How waiting led to something even better than what you originally imagined? How the delay protected you from something that wouldn't have served your highest good? This is the art of trusting divine timing. It's recognizing that there's an intelligence at work that sees the complete picture while we can only see our immediate circumstances. When you embrace this understanding, waiting transforms from torture into a sacred practice. Instead of spending your energy fighting against the timeline, you can use this time for inner growth, preparation, and alignment. You can focus on becoming the person who's ready to receive and maintain what you desire. You can cultivate the qualities that will allow you to handle your manifestations with wisdom and grace. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means taking inspired action while remaining unattached to specific outcomes and timelines. It means planting seeds with intention while trusting the universe to provide the right conditions for growth. When you master the art of trusting divine timing, you free yourself from the anxiety of wondering when things will happen. You stop checking your phone every 5 minutes, expecting the call that will change everything. You stop refreshing your email hoping for the message that will solve all your problems. Instead, you rest in the knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. You trust that the universe's timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't match your preferences. In this trust, you find peace. In this peace, you find power. And in this power, you become magnetic to everything you desire, allowing it to flow to you naturally and effortlessly when the timing is absolutely perfect. When we speak of trusting divine timing, we're entering into one of life's most profound spiritual practices. This isn't simply about waiting for things to happen or passively hoping for the best. Divine timing represents a sacred rhythm that flows through all of creation, one that is perfectly aligned with our soul's journey and greater purpose. Just because things aren't happening right now doesn't mean they won't happen. In fact, the universe might be preparing something far greater than what you could ever imagine in your limited view of the present. Think of a master chef preparing an exquisite meal. Each ingredient must be added at precisely the right moment. Each element must be allowed to develop its full flavor, and rushing any part of the process would diminish the final creation. Your dreams and desires are being prepared with the same meticulous care and attention to perfect timing. When you trust timing, you surrender the need to force things into place. You release the exhausting habit of pushing against the natural flow of life, trying to make things happen according to your human schedule rather than the universe's divine orchestration. Trusting timing means releasing the anxiety that comes with wanting things to happen right now. It's about having faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it doesn't look that way from where you stand today. This shift in perspective transforms your entire relationship with your desires and goals. Instead of living in constant tension and urgency, you begin to experience a profound sense of peace and alignment. Human time is linear, measured by clocks and calendars, driven by deadlines and external pressures. We live in a culture that worships speed and instant gratification, where waiting is often seen as weakness or lack of ambition. But divine time operates according to entirely different principles. Divine time considers the ripening of all conditions necessary for your highest good. It takes into account factors you cannot see, connections you haven't yet made, lessons you still need to learn, and growth you haven't yet experienced. When you align with divine timing, you begin to understand that delays are often divine protection. What feels like a setback may actually be the universe saving you from a path that would have led to struggle or dissatisfaction. What seems like a missed opportunity might be clearing the way for something infinitely better to enter your life. Consider the story of a woman who desperately wanted to get married by age 30. When her 30th birthday passed without a proposal from her boyfriend, she felt devastated and behind in life. But 6 months later, she met the man who would become her soulmate. Someone she never would have encountered if she had married her previous partner. The delay that felt like punishment was actually divine orchestration preparing her for her true love. When you trust that the universe has a plan that's far bigger and more beautiful than anything you could have forced into existence, you experience a deep peace and relief. This doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your dreams. True trust in divine timing actually empowers you to take inspired action from a place of peace rather than desperation. This isn't about sitting back and doing nothing. It's about doing your part, staying present, and allowing life to unfold at its natural pace. You plant the seeds through your intentions and actions. You water them with your faith and persistence, but you don't try to force the flowers to bloom before their season. Surrendered action means taking steps that feel aligned and inspired while releasing attachment to specific outcomes or timelines. You might apply for jobs while trusting that the right opportunity will present itself at the perfect time. You might date with an open heart while knowing that love will find you when all conditions are ripe. You might work on your creative projects while allowing your artistic vision to unfold organically. This approach eliminates the frantic energy that actually repels what you desire. When you're desperate and forcing, you emit a vibration of lack and fear that pushes opportunities away. But when you're taking aligned action from a place of trust and surrender, you become magnetic to the very experiences you're seeking. One of the greatest challenges in trusting divine timing is releasing our need to know when things will happen. We want guarantees, timelines, and certainty about our future. But the universe operates on a need-to-know basis, revealing information and opportunities exactly when we're ready to receive and act on them. This uncertainty can feel uncomfortable at first, but it's actually one of life's greatest gifts. If you knew exactly when everything would happen, you might become impatient during the waiting periods or anxious about upcoming challenges. Instead, you're invited to find peace in the present moment, trusting that each day brings exactly what you need for your growth and evolution. The unknown timeline also keeps you open to possibilities beyond your current imagination. If you knew your dream job would come in exactly 18 months, you might stop looking for opportunities that could arrive sooner. If you knew you'd meet your life partner in 2 years, you might close your heart to love that could bloom tomorrow. By releasing the need to know when, you remain available to receive your blessings whenever they choose to arrive. This surrender transforms waiting from a frustrating experience into a sacred practice of faith and presence. you begin to see that every moment of your journey has value, not just the moments when your dreams finally manifest. The waiting periods become opportunities for growth, preparation, and deepening your trust in life's benevolent unfolding. When you truly embrace divine timing, you discover that you're never actually waiting for your life to begin. Your life is happening right now, in this moment, perfectly orchestrated by a wisdom far greater than your human understanding. You rest in the knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, and in this knowing, you find the peace that surpasses all understanding. This is the space where true magic begins, when we finally release our desperate grip on how we think things should unfold. We create room for something far more beautiful than we could have ever imagined. The art of letting go isn't about giving up or becoming passive. It's about recognizing that our tight-fisted control over life often blocks the very miracles we're trying to create. Think of a closed fist trying to catch falling rain. No matter how tightly you squeeze, the water slips through your fingers. But open your palm, and suddenly you can hold the gift that was always there. This is the paradox of surrender. When we release our death grip on outcomes, we actually become more receptive to receiving what we truly need. Surrender creates a sacred space within us, an opening where divine intelligence can work its magic. This isn't the surrender of defeat, but the surrender of trust. It's the difference between a flower forcing itself to bloom in winter versus waiting for the perfect conditions of spring. When you surrender, you're not abandoning your dreams. You're simply acknowledging that there might be a timing and a way that serves you better than your current plan. This sacred space of surrender becomes fertile ground for miracles. It's where unexpected opportunities appear, where the right people show up at the perfect moment, where solutions emerge from seemingly impossible situations. The universe responds to this open, receptive energy with gifts beyond your wildest imagination. Most of us carry invisible chains forged from past disappointments, childhood conditioning, and generational patterns that no longer serve us. These old programs run like background software, automatically limiting what we believe is possible for our lives. Breaking free begins with recognizing these patterns. Maybe you learned early that good things don't last, so you sabotage joy before it can be taken away. Perhaps you inherited the belief that struggle equals worthiness, so you unconsciously create drama to feel deserving of love. Or maybe past rejections taught you to expect the worst, so you armor your heart against hope itself. The beautiful truth is that these programs were installed when you were young and vulnerable, but you have the power to upgrade them now. You can choose to stop letting a 5-year-old's understanding of the world dictate your 40-year-old possibilities. This process requires compassion for yourself and patience with the unlearning. Your nervous system has been running these patterns for years, creating neural pathways that feel as familiar as breathing. But with conscious awareness and gentle persistence, you can create new pathways that support expansion rather than contraction. Every time you choose hope over fear, trust over control, love over protection, you're literally rewiring your brain for miracles. There's an intelligence at work in this universe that orchestrates the movement of planets, the changing of seasons, and the beating of your heart without any conscious effort from you. This same intelligence is working on your behalf, weaving together circumstances, people, and opportunities in ways your human mind could never calculate or control. Trusting this universal intelligence means recognizing that your limited perspective can't see the full picture. You might think the delay in your career is a setback, not knowing it's protecting you from a company about to collapse. You might curse the ended relationship, not seeing that it's clearing space for a love that will honor your true worth. You might resent the closed door, not realizing it's redirecting you toward an open window. that leads to something far more aligned with your soul's purpose. This trust isn't blind faith, it's informed faith. It's based on the recognition that the same force that grows flowers from seeds and heals cuts on your skin is also capable of orchestrating the perfect unfolding of your life. When you align with this intelligence instead of fighting it, you discover that life becomes a dance rather than a battle. You learn to read the signs, to feel the flow, to sense when to act and when to wait. This alignment brings a peace that surpasses understanding, because you know you're being held by something infinitely wise and loving. Non-attachment is perhaps one of the most misunderstood concepts in personal growth. It doesn't mean becoming cold, indifferent, or emotionally disconnected from your desires. True non-attachment means caring deeply while holding outcomes lightly. It's like being a passionate gardener who plants seeds with love and tends them with care, but doesn't dig them up every day to check their progress. You water them, provide sunlight, and trust the natural process of growth. Non-attachment allows you to pursue your dreams with enthusiasm, while remaining open to outcomes that might be different from, but better than what you originally envisioned. It's the difference between saying, "It has to be this way," and saying, "This or something better for my highest good." When you practice non-attachment, you free yourself from the suffering that comes from demanding that life conform to your expectations. You can love someone without needing them to love you back in exactly the way you want. You can work toward a goal without yourself worth depending on achieving it. You can hope for specific outcomes while remaining genuinely curious about what the universe might have in store instead. This practice actually increases your capacity to receive, because you're not blocking the flow with rigid expectations. You become like a river that flows around rocks rather than trying to force them to move. Miracles need space to land in your life, and most of us have cluttered that space with worry, control, and endless mental chatter about how things should be different. Creating space for miracles is both a physical and energetic practice. Physically, it might mean decluttering your home to make room for new experiences, saying no to commitments that drain your energy, or simply creating quiet moments in your day where inspiration can find you. Energetically, it means releasing the mental and emotional baggage that keeps you vibrating at frequencies of lack, fear, and limitation. When you clear this internal clutter, you become a magnet for synchronicities, opportunities, and connections that seem to appear out of nowhere. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for creating this space. When you appreciate what you already have, you signal to the universe that you're a good steward of blessings, and more blessings naturally flow your way. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is perfect. It's about genuinely recognizing the gifts that are already present in your life, even amidst challenges. The space you create through gratitude becomes a landing pad for miracles, a frequency that attracts more of what you appreciate. Peaceful allowance is the ultimate expression of letting go. It's a state of being where you're actively engaged in your life while simultaneously surrendering to the mystery of how it all unfolds. In this state, you take inspired action without attachment to results. You love without needing to control how that love is received or returned. You dream without demanding that those dreams manifest in exactly the way you envision. Living in peaceful allowance doesn't mean becoming passive or resigned. It means becoming fluid, responsive, and deeply attuned to the natural rhythms of expansion and contraction that govern all of life. You learn to recognize when it's time to push forward, and when it's time to rest, when it's time to speak, and when it's time to listen, when it's time to hold on, and when it's time to let go. This way of being creates a magnetic quality that draws people and opportunities towards you naturally. There's something irresistible about someone who is fully present, genuinely peaceful, and completely comfortable with uncertainty. When you embody peaceful allowance, you become a living invitation for miracles to unfold through you and around you. You discover that the magic you were seeking was never about controlling life, but about dancing with it in perfect trust and surrender. When you find yourself in that space where you can't see the outcome yet, where the path ahead remains shrouded in mystery, you're actually standing at the threshold of one of life's most powerful spiritual lessons. Patience, contrary to popular belief, is not a passive state of simply waiting for things to happen. True patience is an active, dynamic force that demonstrates your unwavering faith in the universe's perfect orchestration of events. It's a conscious choice to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when your human perspective can't grasp the bigger picture. When you embrace this understanding of divine timing, you unlock a profound sense of peace that comes from knowing, with absolute certainty, that what's meant for you is already making its way to you. This knowing eliminates the frantic energy of forcing, pushing, and manipulating circumstances to match your timeline. Instead, you discover the freedom that comes from being fully present in each moment, trusting that the universe's timing is infinitely more perfect than anything your limited human mind could orchestrate. Trusting divine timing gives you something precious that most people spend their entire lives searching for: the freedom to be genuinely present. When you're not constantly worried about when your desires will manifest or how they'll come to fruition, you can actually enjoy the journey you're on right now. This present moment awareness allows you to notice the beauty, lessons, and opportunities that exist in your current circumstances, rather than always looking ahead to some future moment when life will supposedly be better. The universe has a way of surprising us when we're in this state of relaxed trust. Often, what arrives is far better than what we originally thought we wanted, because the universe can see the bigger picture of our soul's journey and what will truly serve our highest good. When you let go of rigid expectations about how and when things should happen, you create space for miracles that exceed your wildest imagination. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop taking inspired action. Rather, you learn to move forward with purpose while holding your plans lightly, ready to adapt when the universe presents better opportunities or redirects your path. One of Buddhism's most transformative teachings reveals that our inner beliefs about our own worthiness directly shape the reality we experience in the physical world. This ancient wisdom aligns perfectly with modern understanding of how our thoughts and beliefs create our lived experiences. The universe, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, doesn't respond merely to our surface level wants or the things we say we desire. Instead, it responds to the deep vibrational frequency we emit based on how we truly perceive our own worth and what we genuinely believe we deserve to receive. This is why two people can want the same thing with equal intensity, yet one receives it easily while the other struggles endlessly. The difference lies not in their desire, but in their underlying belief about whether they're worthy of having what they want. Your beliefs about deserving operate like an invisible filter, determining what you allow into your life and what you unconsciously block or sabotage. If deep down you believe you don't deserve love, success, abundance, or happiness, you'll find ways to push these things away even when they're offered to you. Conversely, when you truly believe in your inherent worthiness, you naturally attract and accept the good things that life wants to give you. The journey of recognizing and claiming your worthiness is often the most challenging and rewarding work you'll ever do. Most of us carry deep, seated beliefs about not being good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough. Beliefs that were often formed in childhood and reinforced by societal messages. These limiting beliefs create an invisible ceiling on what we allow ourselves to receive. no matter how hard we work or how much we achieve. The beautiful truth is that your worthiness is not something you need to earn or prove. It's an inherent aspect of your being, as natural and undeniable as your need for air and water. You were born worthy of love, joy, abundance, and all the beautiful experiences life has to offer. The work lies not in becoming worthy, but in remembering and reclaiming the worthiness that was always yours. This remembering process often involves healing old wounds, challenging negative self-talk, and choosing new beliefs that align with your true value. It means learning to treat yourself with the same kindness and respect you would show a beloved friend. When you begin to genuinely believe in your own worthiness, everything in your life begins to shift. You start making different choices, setting healthier boundaries, and attracting people and opportunities that reflect your elevated sense of self-worth. The universe mirrors back to you exactly what you believe you deserve. So as your inner beliefs transform, your outer world transforms along with them. This is not about becoming entitled or demanding what you want from life. True worthiness comes with humility, gratitude, and a recognition that you're part of something much larger than yourself. It's about aligning with the truth that you, like every being in existence, deserve to experience the fullness of life's gifts. When you combine the patience of divine timing with the power of believing in your own worthiness, you create the perfect conditions for miracles to unfold naturally in your life. You stop forcing and start allowing, stop struggling and start flowing, stop doubting and start trusting in the magnificent unfolding of your unique journey. When you believe you deserve peace, success, and happiness, something profound shifts in the fabric of your reality. The universe operates like a perfect mirror, reflecting back to you exactly what you believe about yourself and what you think you deserve. This isn't some mystical concept that requires blind faith. It's a fundamental principle that governs how energy, opportunity, and abundance flow into your life. Think of it like this. If you walked into a room full of mirrors while feeling confident and worthy, you'd see that confidence reflected back at you from every angle. The same principle applies to your relationship with the universe. When you carry the deep, unshakable belief that you deserve good things, that energy radiates outward and attracts experiences that match that vibration. But here's what's crucial to understand. This isn't about arrogance or entitlement. There's a profound difference between healthy self-worth and demanding that the world owes you something. True worthiness comes from recognizing your inherent value as a human being, not from comparing yourself to others or believing you're better than anyone else. It's about knowing, deep in your bones, that you are worthy of the good things life has to offer simply because you exist. This recognition of your own worthiness is like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly, you can see opportunities that were always there but remained invisible when you were operating from a place of unworthiness. The moment you recognize your worthiness, you begin to align with opportunities, people, and situations that reflect that belief. It's as if the universe has been waiting for you to give yourself permission to receive what's been available all along. On the flip side, if you believe that you don't deserve success or happiness, if you think that you are destined for struggle or failure, then that belief becomes a powerful limitation that shapes your entire experience. These limiting beliefs don't just affect your mood or your confidence. They actually limit the possibilities that come into your life in very real, tangible ways. When you operate from unworthiness, you unconsciously sabotage opportunities before they can fully develop. You might dismiss a compliment, turn down an invitation that could lead to something wonderful, or fail to notice the signs that someone is interested in helping you succeed. The universe responds to this belief by reinforcing your sense of lack, not because it's punishing you, but because it's giving you exactly what you're asking for through your energetic vibration. If your inner dialogue constantly tells you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or deserving enough, then you subconsciously block the flow of abundance that's trying to reach you. This blocking happens in subtle but powerful ways. You might find yourself saying no to opportunities that feel too good to be true. You might surround yourself with people who confirm your negative beliefs about yourself. You might work twice as hard as necessary because you don't believe you deserve to receive things easily. The people and opportunities that would otherwise align with your goals remain out of reach, not because they don't exist, but because your internal belief system creates an energetic barrier between you and what you desire. It's like having a radio tuned to a station of lack and limitation, while the abundance frequency is broadcasting right next to it. Your internal belief system creates what we might call an energetic signature. This signature is constantly broadcasting to the universe, attracting experiences that match its frequency. When you believe you're worthy of good things, your energetic signature broadcasts confidence, openness, and receptivity. People are naturally drawn to this energy because it feels good to be around someone who values themselves appropriately. Opportunities seem to flow more easily because you're not unconsciously pushing them away with doubt and fear. But when your belief system is rooted in unworthiness, your energetic signature broadcasts insecurity, closed-heartedness, and resistance. Even when good things try to come your way, this energy can repel them or cause you to misinterpret positive situations as threats. The beautiful thing is that you have the power to transform your energetic signature at any moment. It starts with becoming aware of the stories you tell yourself about what you deserve and why. Many of these stories were formed in childhood, when you absorb messages from parents, teachers, and society about your value and worth. Perhaps you were told that you had to earn love through achievement, or that wanting good things for yourself was selfish. Maybe you learned that struggle was noble, and that receiving things easily meant you were lazy or undeserving. These early programming patterns continue to run in the background of your adult life until you consciously choose to examine and change them. The process of recognizing your worthiness isn't about convincing yourself of something that isn't true. It's about remembering something that has always been true, but got buried under layers of conditioning and negative experiences. You were born worthy. You didn't have to do anything to earn your worthiness, and you can't do anything to lose it. This worthiness isn't dependent on your achievements, your appearance, your bank account, or what other people think of you. It's an inherent part of who you are as a conscious being having a human experience. When you truly grasp this concept and begin to live from this place of knowing your own worth, everything changes. You start making decisions from a place of self-respect rather than self-doubt. You begin to attract people who treat you well because you're no longer willing to accept less than you deserve. You notice opportunities that align with your values and goals because you're no longer filtering them out through a lens of unworthiness. The universe mirrors back to you the love, respect, and abundance that you're finally showing yourself. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't mean that challenges disappear from your life. What changes is your relationship to those challenges and your fundamental belief about what you deserve to experience. When you know you're worthy of peace, success, and happiness, you approach difficulties with the confidence that they're temporary and that something better is always possible. You stop settling for less than you deserve because you finally understand that you deserve the very best that life has to offer. The most profound barrier between you and everything you desire isn't external circumstances, other people, or even bad luck. It's the invisible energetic barrier created by your own belief system about what you deserve. This barrier operates like a force field around your life, determining what can enter and what gets deflected away. Buddhism teaches us a fundamental truth that Western psychology is only beginning to understand. Our perception of ourselves literally shapes our experiences. When you see yourself as someone who deserves all the good things life has to offer, you remove the energetic resistance that has been blocking your blessings. You shift from fighting against the current to flowing with the natural abundance that the universe is constantly trying to deliver to you. The universe operates like a perfect mirror, reflecting back exactly what you believe about yourself. You attract what you believe you deserve, nothing more and nothing less. Your belief acts as the key that unlocks the door to what is waiting for you on the other side of your current circumstances. This isn't about developing a sense of entitlement or demanding that life give you what you want. It's about recognizing your intrinsic value as a human being and understanding that each one of us is inherently worthy of love, success, peace, and happiness. When you internalize this belief and begin to live as if it's already true, you create a magnetic field that draws these experiences into your reality. The universe doesn't distinguish between positive or negative beliefs about what you deserve. It simply responds to the energy you consistently put out into the world. If you start vibrating with the energy of someone who deserves success, love, and abundance, the universe begins orchestrating circumstances to match that vibration. Most of us carry invisible programming from childhood, past experiences, and cultural conditioning that tells us we're not worthy of extraordinary things. These beliefs operate below the level of conscious awareness, sabotaging our efforts and creating patterns of self-limitation. You might consciously want success, while unconsciously believing you don't deserve it. You might desire love, while secretly feeling unworthy of deep connection. You might dream of abundance, while carrying shame about having money or nice things. These conflicting beliefs create internal resistance that blocks the very things you're trying to attract. The first step in shifting your belief system is becoming aware of these hidden patterns. Notice how you talk to yourself about what's possible for your life. Pay attention to the automatic thoughts that arise when you imagine having what you want. Listen for the voice that says you're asking for too much, that you should be grateful for what you have, or that good things don't happen to people like you. These thoughts reveal the energetic barriers that need to be dismantled. Shifting from unworthiness to deserving requires both inner work and outer action. Begin by challenging every thought that suggests you're not worthy of the best life has to offer. When you catch yourself thinking you don't deserve something wonderful, ask yourself where that belief came from. Is it really true? Or is it just old programming that no longer serves you? Practice speaking to yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would offer a beloved friend. Start treating yourself as someone who deserves respect, love, and beautiful experiences. This means setting boundaries with people who don't treat you well, investing in your growth and well-being, and making choices that honor your worth. It means stopping the habit of settling for less than what truly fulfills you. When you begin to act as if you deserve good things, you send a clear message to the universe about the kind of experiences you're ready to receive. Your external actions must align with your internal beliefs about worthiness. The energy of deserving isn't desperate or demanding. It's calm, confident, and expectant. It's the quiet knowing that good things are natural and normal for you, not rare exceptions that you have to fight for. This energy shift changes everything about how you show up in the world and how the world responds to you. People sense your new energy and begin treating you differently. Opportunities that were invisible before suddenly become apparent. Resources and support appear from unexpected sources. This is the power of aligning your belief system with your true worth and allowing the universe to respond to your elevated vibration. When you truly embrace the belief that you deserve happiness, the universe will respond by bringing those things to you. This isn't wishful thinking or naive optimism, but rather a fundamental law of energetic attraction that governs how we experience life. Believing you deserve what you want doesn't mean you get everything without effort, handed to you on a silver platter while you sit passively waiting. Instead, it means something far more profound and transformative happens within your entire being. When you genuinely believe in your worthiness, you stop self-sabotaging your own success and happiness. Those unconscious patterns that have been undermining your efforts suddenly lose their power over you. You stop doubting your abilities at crucial moments when confidence could make all the difference. The internal critic that once convinced you to play small and hide your light begins to quiet down. You stop shrinking back in fear when opportunities present themselves, no longer automatically assuming you're not qualified already. This shift from self-doubt to self-belief creates a completely different energetic signature that the universe can't help but respond to. When you're no longer fighting against yourself internally, you become a clear channel for receiving the good that wants to flow into your life. The energy you once spent on internal resistance and self-criticism becomes available for inspired action and creative manifestation. From this place of knowing your worth, you begin to take inspired action with a completely different quality of energy. Your actions are no longer driven by desperation, fear, or the need to prove yourself worthy. Instead, they flow naturally from a deep knowing that you are deserving of the opportunities you're moving toward. This alignment between your internal belief system and your external actions creates a magnetic quality that draws success to you. When you apply for that promotion, you do so knowing you deserve consideration, not hoping you might be lucky enough to get noticed. When you enter relationships, you bring the energy of someone who deserves love and respect, which naturally attracts partners who can offer those qualities. When you pursue your dreams, you move forward with the confidence of someone who belongs in the arena of their aspirations. Because you are aligned with that energy of deserving, things begin to happen in your favor in ways that might seem miraculous, but are actually the natural result of your shifted vibration. When you believe you deserve more, whether that's success in your career, love in your relationships, or peace in your mind, the universe aligns to bring it to you. This isn't because the universe plays favorites or rewards certain people over others. Rather, it's because you've removed the energetic blocks that were preventing you from receiving what was always available to you. Your belief in your worthiness acts like a tuning fork, resonating at the frequency of your desires and attracting experiences that match that vibration. The opportunities were always there, but your previous belief system made you invisible to them or caused you to dismiss them as not meant for you. Now, with your internal compass pointing toward deserving rather than lacking, you begin to notice and act upon possibilities that align with your elevated sense of self-worth. What you receive in life is indeed a direct reflection of how much you believe you are worthy of it. This isn't about being entitled or expecting the world to cater to your every whim. It's about recognizing that your relationship with your own worthiness determines what you're able to receive and maintain in your life. As you begin to truly feel deserving, not just think it intellectually, but embody it in your cells and your energy field, you'll notice a powerful shift occurring in every area of your existence. The doors that once seemed permanently closed will begin to open, sometimes with surprising ease. The blessings you once thought were out of reach, reserved for other people who were somehow more special or deserving than you, will slowly but surely start to manifest in your reality. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. but it begins the moment you decide to honor your inherent worthiness and allow that truth to guide your thoughts, feelings, and actions. The universe has been waiting for you to remember who you really are and what you truly deserve, and when you finally do, it responds with enthusiasm and abundance. The law of attraction has been misunderstood by countless people who approach it from a place of desperation and demand. They chase their desires with frantic energy, believing that the intensity of their wanting will somehow force the universe to comply with their wishes. But this approach fundamentally misses the point of how universal energy actually operates. True manifestation is not about demanding or chasing anything at all. It's about something far more subtle and infinitely more powerful. Something that transforms you from the inside out and makes you irresistible to the very things you've been struggling to attain. It's about alignment. When you align with the belief that you are worthy of good things, something remarkable happens in your energetic field. You stop emitting the desperate frequency of lack and need that actually repels what you want most. Instead, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of someone who already has what they desire, someone who knows their worth and expects good things to flow into their life naturally. This shift in vibration is not just metaphysical theory. It's a practical reality that affects every aspect of your being. Your posture changes, your voice carries more confidence, your decisions become clearer, and your actions align with someone who deserves abundance rather than someone begging for scraps. The universe is always responding to your energy, like a cosmic mirror reflecting back to you exactly what you're putting out into the world. When you emit the energy of unworthiness, of not being enough, of having to prove yourself constantly, the universe responds by giving you more experiences that confirm these beliefs. But when you shift into the energy of knowing your inherent worth, when you align with the truth that you deserve love, success, peace, and abundance simply because you exist, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. It's only when you recognize your inherent worth that you can truly receive the abundance that's waiting for you. This recognition is not about becoming arrogant or entitled. It's about accepting a fundamental truth about your nature as a divine being having a human experience. You were not born to struggle endlessly or to prove your worth through suffering. You were born to experience joy, to create beauty, to love deeply, and to receive the gifts that life wants to give you. When you believe you deserve something, whether it's a fulfilling career that lights you up every morning, deep love that nourishes your soul, or inner peace that remains unshaken by external circumstances, you shift your vibration to align with that belief. This shift is not just a mental exercise or positive thinking. It's a complete reorganization of your energy field that sends out a different signal to the universe. Think of it like tuning a radio to a different frequency. When you're tuned to the frequency of unworthiness, you receive static interference and broadcasts that confirm your limitations. But when you tune to the frequency of deserving, suddenly clear signals come through, opportunities appear, people show up who can help you, and synchronicities begin to unfold that guide you toward your desires. The universe is always ready to deliver what you need for your highest good and greatest joy. It's not withholding anything from you out of judgment or punishment. The universe operates from a place of infinite abundance and unconditional love, always seeking to give you more than you can imagine. But it's up to you to align with the energy that attracts what you truly deserve. Your self-belief is the gateway to everything you've ever desired, the key that unlocks doors you didn't even know existed. When you believe in your worth at the deepest level, when this belief becomes so integrated into your being that it's no longer something you have to think about, but simply something you know, you become a magnet for miracles. The more you believe in your worth, the more the universe will respond with exactly what you need to thrive and flourish. This is not about perfection or never having doubts. It's about returning again and again to the truth of your inherent value and allowing that truth to guide your choices and shape your reality. In a world that constantly encourages us to strive harder, to push faster, to do more and be more, there's a revolutionary power in choosing calmness instead. Calmness is a manifestation in itself, a state of being that signals to the universe that you trust the process and know that what's meant for you will find you. When you approach your desires from a place of calm certainty rather than anxious striving, you create the perfect conditions for manifestation to occur naturally. Calmness allows you to hear the subtle guidance of your intuition, to notice the signs and synchronicities that are always present, but often missed in the noise of desperate action. It creates space for the universe to work on your behalf, orchestrating circumstances and connections behind the scenes that your conscious mind could never have planned or forced. This doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. It means taking inspired action from a place of trust rather than fear, of knowing rather than hoping, of alignment rather than force. When you embody the calm confidence of someone who knows they deserve good things, you become irresistible to the very experiences you've been chasing with such effort. The universe responds to this energy by bringing you opportunities that feel effortless, relationships that flow naturally, and abundance that arrives in perfect timing. Your worthiness is not something you need to earn or prove. It's something you need to remember and embody. And when you do, everything changes. In a world that glorifies the grind and celebrates the hustle, the concept of calmness as a manifestation tool can feel almost revolutionary. We've been programmed from childhood to believe that everything worthwhile requires struggle, that success only comes to those who exhaust themselves in pursuit of their dreams. Our culture has created a mythology around suffering for success, where working yourself to the bone becomes a badge of honor rather than a warning sign. But what if everything we've been taught about achievement is fundamentally backwards? What if the real secret to manifesting the life you desire lies not in the frantic chase, but in the profound power of inner stillness? Society has sold us a dangerous lie that equates motion with progress and business with importance. We measure our worth by how exhausted we feel at the end of each day, how packed our schedules are, how many plates we can spin simultaneously. This conditioning runs so deep that many people feel guilty when they're not actively struggling toward their goals. The idea of sitting in peaceful contemplation while others are hustling feels like laziness, like giving up, like wasting precious time. But this belief system is actually sabotaging our ability to receive what we desire most. When we operate from a place of constant striving and desperate effort, we emit an energy of lack and scarcity. The universe responds to this frantic energy by creating more situations that require frantic energy. We attract struggle because we believe struggle is necessary. We manifest obstacles because we expect obstacles. The very desperation in our pursuit pushes away the things we're chasing, like trying to catch a butterfly by running after it with a net. True calmness is not the absence of action or ambition. It's not about becoming passive or disconnected from your desires. Instead, calmness is the presence of profound clarity, unwavering focus, and deep inner peace that allows you to move through life with intention rather than desperation. When you cultivate genuine calmness, you create space for your highest self to emerge and guide your decisions. This inner stillness allows you to hear the whispers of intuition that get drowned out by the noise of constant doing. You begin to recognize the difference between inspired action that flows naturally and forced action that stems from fear and impatience. Calm people make better decisions because they're not clouded by anxiety, desperation, or the need to prove themselves. They can see opportunities that frantic people miss because their vision isn't blurred by emotional turbulence. They attract better circumstances because their peaceful energy creates an environment where positive experiences can take root and flourish. This is why calmness becomes such a powerful manifestation tool. It transforms you from someone who chases opportunities into someone who naturally attracts them. Ancient Buddhist wisdom teaches us that everything in the universe is interconnected through subtle energy fields that respond to our internal states. Just as a peaceful lake reflects the sky with perfect clarity, a calm mind becomes a clear mirror for universal intelligence to work through. When your inner world is turbulent with worry, anxiety, and desperate striving, you create energetic static that interferes with the natural flow of abundance trying to reach you. But when you achieve genuine inner stillness, you become like a tuning fork that resonates at the frequency of your desires. This energetic alignment doesn't require you to do anything except maintain your peaceful state and trust the process. The universe begins orchestrating circumstances, connections, and opportunities that align with your calm, confident energy. People are naturally drawn to those who embody peaceful confidence because this energy feels safe, trustworthy, and magnetic. Opportunities seem to find calm people effortlessly because they're not radiating the desperate energy that repels abundance. Instead, they emit a quiet certainty that they deserve good things, and the universe responds by delivering experiences that match this belief. Developing this magnetic calmness doesn't mean you need to retreat from the world or abandon your ambitions. It means learning to carry a center of peace within you regardless of external circumstances. This inner stillness becomes your anchor during storms and your compass during confusion. You can be fully engaged in pursuing your goals while maintaining the peaceful energy that makes you irresistible to positive outcomes. The key is shifting from action driven by fear and lack to action inspired by trust and abundance. When you move from this calm, centered place, every step feels effortless because you're flowing with universal currents rather than swimming against them. Your calmness becomes a beacon that signals to the universe that you're ready to receive your desires without the drama and struggle you once thought were necessary. This is when true magic begins to unfold in your life. When you observe a perfectly still lake on a windless morning, you witness one of nature's most profound teachings about manifestation and inner peace. The lake reflects the world above it without distortion, creating a mirror so clear that you cannot distinguish where the sky ends and the water begins. This is the exact state your energy achieves when you cultivate true calmness within yourself. Your energy becomes clear and aligned with what you want to manifest, free from the ripples of doubt, fear, and impatience that typically cloud our inner waters. When you're calm, you create a space for the universe to work with you instead of against you, establishing a partnership between your desires and cosmic intelligence. You no longer block the flow of opportunities, love, or abundance because you're not tangled in the web of anxiety, impatience, or desperation that once held you captive. These emotional states create energetic static that interferes with the universe's ability to deliver what you've been asking for. When we feel anxious or rushed, we send out an energy of dissonance that creates friction with the universe's natural rhythms. It's like trying to swim upstream against a powerful current, using all your energy to fight the flow while making minimal progress toward your destination. This resistance doesn't just exhaust you physically. It creates an energetic signature that tells the universe you're not ready to receive what you're asking for. Anxiety vibrates at a frequency of lack and fear, essentially broadcasting to the cosmos that you don't trust the process or believe in your worthiness. When you operate from this frantic energy, you attract more situations that match your internal chaos, creating a cycle of struggle and disappointment. The universe responds to your energetic state, not your desperate words or forced actions, which is why pushing harder often pushes your desires further away. Scientific research has shown that stress hormones like cortisol actually impair our ability to recognize opportunities and make clear decisions. When we're in fight or flight mode, our brains literally cannot access the higher cognitive functions needed for creative problem solving and intuitive guidance. This means that anxiety doesn't just feel bad, it actively prevents us from seeing the very solutions and opportunities we're desperately seeking. But when we embrace calmness, we allow the natural flow of life to guide us toward our highest good with grace and ease. Think of calmness as the art of letting go of resistance, a practice that requires both courage and wisdom to master. When you stop fighting against what is and simply accept the present moment, you create the perfect environment for manifestation to unfold naturally. This acceptance doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams, but rather releasing the tight grip of control that prevents miracles from occurring. Calmness creates a state of receptivity where you become like a radio tuned to the perfect frequency, able to receive the subtle guidance and opportunities the universe is constantly broadcasting. In this peaceful state, you begin to notice synchronicities, feel intuitive nudges, and recognize doors opening that you might have missed while caught up in anxious thinking. The ancient Taoists understood this principle deeply, teaching that the most powerful action often comes from a place of wu-wei or effortless action. This doesn't mean doing nothing, but rather acting from a place of such deep alignment that your movements feel guided by a wisdom greater than your individual will. When you embody this calm presence, you discover that manifesting doesn't always require the kind of effort we typically associate with achievement. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is create space for the universe to surprise you with solutions more elegant than anything your worried mind could have devised. In our culture obsessed with productivity and constant motion, we've forgotten that stillness is actually a form of action, and often the most powerful form available to us. When you cultivate inner stillness, you're not being lazy or passive. You're creating the optimal conditions for inspiration, clarity, and divine guidance to emerge. Think of yourself as a master gardener who knows that after planting seeds, the most important work happens in the quiet spaces between actions. The seed doesn't grow because you dig it up to check on it every day, but because you create the right conditions and trust the natural process of growth. Your desires are like these seeds, already containing everything they need to manifest, but requiring the fertile soil of your calm, trusting energy to flourish. When you're constantly worried about timing, outcomes, or methods, you're essentially disturbing the soil where your dreams are trying to take root. But when you maintain peaceful confidence in the process, you provide the stable environment where miracles can grow without interference. This calmness signals to the universe that you're operating from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, trust rather than fear, and wisdom rather than desperation. The universe responds to this energy by opening pathways and orchestrating circumstances in ways that will amaze you with their perfect timing and unexpected beauty. Your calm presence becomes a magnet for everything you've been seeking, drawing it to you through the natural law of energetic alignment rather than the exhausting effort of force and struggle. When you master this art of divine flow, you discover that the universe has been waiting for you to get out of your own way, so it can shower you with the abundance that has always been your birthright. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. This profound truth challenges everything our fast-paced, action-obsessed society has taught us about achievement and success. We've been conditioned to believe that constant motion equals progress, that endless doing leads to having, and that if we're not pushing forward every moment, we're falling behind. But what if the opposite were true? What if the secret to manifesting your deepest desires lies not in frantic activity, but in the sacred art of divine stillness? Instead of constantly trying to force things into existence through sheer willpower and exhausting effort, you can learn to allow the universe to deliver what you need at precisely the right time. This isn't about becoming passive or giving up on your dreams. This is about understanding that there's an intelligence far greater than your individual mind orchestrating the perfect timing and circumstances for your highest good. Calmness becomes the fertile ground for your dreams to take root and grow. Just as a seed requires the right soil conditions, proper moisture, and adequate nutrients to flourish, your desires need the right energetic environment to manifest. When your mind is constantly churning with worry, anxiety, and impatience, you create turbulent energy that actually repels what you're trying to attract. Think of your consciousness like a garden. If the soil is constantly being disturbed by the harsh winds of stress and the flooding rains of overwhelm, nothing can establish deep roots. But when you cultivate inner stillness, you create the perfect conditions for your dreams to take hold and begin their natural growth process. In this calm state, you're not fighting against the natural order of things. Instead, you're working in harmony with the universal laws that govern manifestation and creation. The universe operates on its own timeline, which is always perfect even when it doesn't align with your personal schedule of wants and needs. Your job isn't to micromanage this process, but to maintain the inner conditions that allow it to unfold beautifully. It's in the quiet, peaceful moments that your desires begin to materialize. This happens because stillness allows you to become receptive to the subtle guidance and opportunities that are constantly flowing your way. When your mind is racing and your energy is scattered, you miss the gentle nudges, the synchronistic signs, and the perfect timing of aligned action. But in stillness, you develop the sensitivity to notice when the universe is presenting you with exactly what you've been asking for. When you trust the universe and allow yourself to be at peace with the process, you send out a vibration of trust, openness, and receptivity. These are the exact qualities that attract everything you need, like a powerful magnet drawing iron filings. Trust is perhaps the most important element in this equation because it demonstrates your faith in the unseen forces working on your behalf. When you trust, you're essentially telling the universe that you believe in its perfect timing and infinite wisdom. This trust creates a relaxed confidence that is incredibly attractive to positive experiences and opportunities. Openness means you're not rigidly attached to how your desires must manifest. You're willing to receive your good in unexpected ways, through surprising channels, and in forms that might be even better than what you originally imagined. Receptivity is your willingness to actually accept the blessings when they arrive. Many people unknowingly block their own good because they don't feel worthy, or they're so focused on what they lack that they can't recognize abundance when it appears. Together, these qualities create an energetic signature that the universe responds to with matching experiences of ease, flow, and natural abundance. The truth is, calmness itself is a form of action. This understanding revolutionizes how we think about productivity and progress. In our culture, we often equate action with physical movement, with doing something visible and measurable. But calmness is actually one of the most powerful actions you can take because it requires tremendous inner strength and conscious choice. It's a conscious decision to align with the present moment, to let go of unnecessary stress, and to trust that the universe is always working in your favor. This alignment with the present moment is where all your power lies. The past is gone and cannot be changed. The future hasn't arrived yet and remains fluid based on your current choices. But right now, in this moment, You have complete control over your internal state and your response to whatever is happening around you. Choosing calmness in the face of uncertainty demonstrates mastery over your own mind and emotions. It's the ability to stay grounded no matter how chaotic the outside world may seem. This groundedness becomes your anchor, keeping you stable while storms of change swirl around you. When external circumstances are turbulent, your inner peace becomes a refuge not just for yourself, but for others who are drawn to your stabilizing presence. When you are calm, you are not distracted by fear or worry, and you become a clear channel for your desires to flow through. Fear and worry create static in your energetic field, like interference on a radio station that makes it impossible to receive a clear signal. But when you maintain inner peace, you become like a perfectly tuned instrument, capable of receiving and transmitting the highest frequencies of love, abundance, and joy. This clarity allows you to make better decisions, recognize opportunities more quickly, and take inspired action when the moment is right. You're no longer reacting from a place of panic or desperation, but responding from a place of wisdom and inner knowing. The path of divine stillness isn't always easy, especially when you're surrounded by a world that values constant motion over mindful presence. But as you practice this sacred art, you'll discover that the most profound transformations happen not through force, but through the gentle power of allowing. Your calm presence becomes a beacon of possibility, showing others that there's another way to live and create in this world. When we speak of cultivating calmness as a pathway to manifestation, it's crucial to understand that this doesn't mean everything will magically fall into place without any effort on your part. This is perhaps one of the most misunderstood aspects of spiritual practice and conscious creation. Calmness is not about becoming passive, inactive, or disconnected from your dreams and aspirations. Instead, it's about discovering how to take what we call aligned action from a place of deep inner peace. When you operate from a state of genuine calmness, something remarkable happens to your decision-making abilities. The mental fog that usually clouds your judgment begins to lift, revealing pathways and possibilities that were always there, but previously hidden beneath layers of anxiety and overthinking. This clarity emerges because calmness creates space between you and your reactive mind. In this space, you can observe your thoughts and emotions without being swept away by them. You begin to distinguish between decisions made from fear and those arising from wisdom. Fear-based decisions often feel urgent and desperate, pushing you toward actions that provide temporary relief but may not serve your highest good. Wisdom-based decisions, on the other hand, feel grounded and purposeful, even when they require patience or challenge your immediate desires. This clarity allows you to pursue your goals with laser-like focus rather than scattered energy. Instead of running in multiple directions at once, trying to force outcomes through sheer effort, you learn to identify the actions that will have the greatest impact. You discover that working smarter, not harder, becomes possible when your mind is clear and your intentions are pure. Your actions begin to carry more weight because they're aligned with your deeper purpose, rather than driven by surface-level anxieties about whether you're doing enough. Purpose-driven action feels entirely different from action taken out of desperation or compulsion. When you move through life with intention, every step becomes meaningful, even the small ones that might seem insignificant to outside observers. This is because you're no longer clouded by the doubt, stress, or impatience that typically accompanies our efforts to create change in our lives. Doubt creates hesitation and second-guessing, causing you to start and stop projects, constantly questioning whether you're on the right path. Stress creates urgency and poor judgment, leading to hasty decisions that often need to be corrected later. Impatience creates frustration and the tendency to abandon efforts before they have time to bear fruit. But when these mental and emotional obstacles are cleared away through the practice of calmness, your natural intelligence and intuition can guide you toward the most effective actions. You begin to trust your inner knowing about what needs to be done and when. This trust allows you to move through life with a sense of flow rather than constant struggle. Your efforts become more efficient because they're aligned with natural timing and universal support, rather than fighting against the current of life. One of the most powerful aspects of operating from calmness is how it naturally leads to detachment from outcomes. This doesn't mean you stop caring about your goals or become indifferent to results. Rather, it means you stop obsessing over the when and how of manifestation, which paradoxically accelerates the process. When you're constantly focused on timelines and specific methods, you create energetic constraints around your desires. You essentially tell the universe exactly how and when things must happen, limiting the infinite ways your dreams could unfold. But when you release these constraints through the practice of detachment, you free yourself from the prison of time and expectation. This freedom allows you to stop putting pressure on the universe to deliver according to your human timeline. You begin to understand that divine timing often differs from human timing, and that this difference usually serves your highest good. Sometimes delays protect you from outcomes that would ultimately prove unsatisfying or harmful. Sometimes the universe is orchestrating circumstances behind the scenes to deliver something far better than what you originally envisioned. By letting go of control over timing and methods, you create energetic space for miracles to occur. The concept of creating space for miracles is both metaphysical and practical. On the metaphysical level, when you release tight control over how things must happen, you open yourself to possibilities that exist beyond your current understanding or imagination. The universe operates according to laws and principles that extend far beyond human comprehension. What seems impossible from your limited perspective may be perfectly natural from a cosmic viewpoint. By maintaining calmness and trust, you align yourself with these larger forces rather than working against them. On the practical level, detachment allows you to notice and act upon opportunities that you might otherwise miss. When you're fixated on one particular path to your goal, you can become blind to alternative routes that might be easier, faster, or more fulfilling. Calmness keeps your awareness open and receptive, allowing you to recognize synchronicities, unexpected connections, and serendipitous events that can dramatically accelerate your progress. The more you practice trusting the process and releasing control, the more you discover that life has an intelligence of its own. This intelligence is constantly working to bring you experiences that serve your growth and fulfillment, even when you can't see the bigger picture. Learning to trust this process requires a fundamental shift in how you view your role in creation. Instead of seeing yourself as the sole architect of your destiny, struggling to force outcomes through willpower alone, you begin to see yourself as a co-creator working in partnership with universal forces. This partnership requires both action and surrender, effort and ease, planning and flexibility. You learn to hold your goals lightly while pursuing them wholeheartedly. You discover that opening yourself to infinite possibilities doesn't mean abandoning your dreams, but rather allowing them to unfold in ways that exceed your wildest expectations. This trust transforms the entire experience of pursuing goals from a stressful struggle into an exciting adventure filled with wonder and possibility. The universe operates on a frequency of peace, and when you align with that same frequency through calmness, you become an unstoppable force of attraction. This isn't about sitting in meditation all day or avoiding the challenges of life. This is about discovering that calmness is actually the highest form of manifestation energy available to you. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones who seem to effortlessly attract opportunities relationships, and abundance. They all share one common trait that goes beyond their skills or knowledge. They possess an inner calmness that creates a magnetic field around them, drawing in exactly what they need at precisely the right moment. When you're calm, your nervous system shifts into a state that scientists call coherence. Your heart rhythm becomes steady and harmonious, your brainwaves synchronize, and your entire energetic field expands. This coherent state sends out a signal to the universe that says you're ready to receive. Contrast this with anxiety, desperation, or forcing energy, which creates chaotic signals that actually repel what you're trying to attract. The universe responds to your energetic signature, not your desperate actions. When you're calm, you're broadcasting trust, worthiness, and alignment. These frequencies naturally attract people, opportunities, and circumstances that match that same energy. It's like tuning into a radio station where all the good stuff is playing, while anxiety and forcing keep you stuck on static. Your calm presence becomes a beacon that guides your desires directly to you. People feel safe around calm energy, opportunities flow more easily, and solutions appear where once there were only problems. This isn't wishful thinking or spiritual bypassing. It's the natural law of energetic attraction in action. When you embody calmness, you transform from someone who chases their dreams into someone who magnetizes them. This shift changes everything about how your life unfolds. Instead of pushing and struggling against resistance, you find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people who open doors you didn't even know existed. Your calm energy creates what Buddhist teachers call a field of receptivity. This field acts like fertile soil where the seeds of your intentions can take root and grow naturally. Without this calm foundation, your desires are like seeds scattered on rocky ground, struggling to find the nourishment they need to flourish. But with calmness as your base, every desire you plant has the perfect environment to manifest in ways that exceed your expectations. The magic happens because calm energy is non-resistant energy. When you're calm, you're not fighting against what is. You're not trying to control outcomes, and you're not operating from fear or lack. This non-resistance creates a clear channel through which the universe can deliver exactly what serves your highest good. Think of it like water flowing through a pipe. When the pipe is kinked with anxiety and forcing, the flow is restricted and chaotic. But when the pipe is straight and smooth with calmness, the water flows effortlessly to its destination. Calmness doesn't just attract abundance, it creates the perfect environment where abundance can naturally unfold and multiply. This environment is characterized by trust instead of fear, patience instead of urgency, and openness instead of grasping. When you operate from this calm space, you make decisions from clarity rather than reactivity. You speak from wisdom rather than emotion, and you act from inspiration rather than desperation. These qualities naturally attract more abundance because they demonstrate that you're already operating from an abundant mindset. The universe mirrors back to you the energy you consistently emit. When your dominant frequency is calmness, the universe responds by sending you calm, flowing experiences. Your relationships become more harmonious, your work flows more easily, and opportunities seem to appear just when you need them most. This isn't coincidence. It's the natural result of aligning with the universe's peaceful frequency. Your calm presence also impacts everyone around you, creating ripple effects of positive energy that come back to benefit you in unexpected ways. People remember how you made them feel, and calm energy makes people feel safe, valued, and understood. Perhaps the most profound aspect of cultivating calmness is how it transforms you into the type of person who can actually receive and maintain the blessings you desire. Many people sabotage their manifestations because they haven't developed the inner capacity to handle success, love, or abundance. Calmness builds this capacity by teaching you to remain centered regardless of external circumstances. When you can stay calm during challenges, you prove to yourself and the universe that you can handle even greater blessings. This inner stability becomes the foundation upon which all your dreams can safely rest. Without this foundation, even manifested desires can feel overwhelming or temporary. But with calmness as your core, you become someone who can gracefully receive, appreciate, and steward whatever the universe provides. Your calm energy also attracts people and opportunities that are aligned with growth and expansion rather than drama and chaos. This creates a positive feedback loop, where your peaceful presence draws in experiences that support and enhance your manifestation abilities. You begin to live in a reality where good things happen naturally and regularly, not because you're lucky, but because you've become energetically aligned with receiving them. Calmness truly is your manifestation superpower because it addresses the root cause of why most people struggle to attract what they want. The root cause isn't lack of desire, effort, or even strategy. The root cause is energetic misalignment created by anxiety, forcing, and resistance. When you master calmness, you master the art of energetic alignment, and everything else becomes possible. This superpower grows stronger with practice, like a muscle that develops through consistent use. Each time you choose calmness over anxiety, trust over control, and patience over forcing, you strengthen your manifestation abilities. The universe begins to recognize you as someone who can be trusted with greater blessings because you've demonstrated the wisdom to remain peaceful regardless of circumstances. Your calmness becomes a gift not only to yourself, but to everyone whose life you touch. You become a living example of what's possible when someone aligns with the peaceful frequency of the universe. This alignment unlocks everything the universe has in store for you, not through struggle and effort, but through the simple yet profound practice of remaining calm. In this calm space, miracles become natural, abundance becomes normal, and your deepest desires unfold with an ease that amazes even you. The modern world has convinced us that success comes through relentless pursuit, endless hustle, and sheer force of will. We chase after our dreams like hunters pursuing prey, believing that the harder we work, the more we push, the greater our rewards will be. This mentality has created a generation of exhausted strivers, people who work themselves to the bone thinking that effort alone equals achievement. But what if everything we've been taught about success is backwards? What if the very act of chasing, pushing, and forcing is actually pushing away the very things we desire most? The ancient wisdom of Buddhism offers us a revolutionary perspective that challenges everything our achievement-obsessed culture has taught us. In Buddhist understanding, attachment is recognized as one of the primary sources of human suffering. When we become overly attached to specific outcomes, particular people, or material things, we create an energetic stranglehold that blocks the natural flow of abundance in our lives. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to catch a butterfly by chasing it frantically through a garden. The more desperately you run after it, the more it flutters away from your grasping hands. But if you sit quietly and peacefully, often the butterfly will land gently on your shoulder without any effort on your part. This is the essence of letting go. It's not about giving up on your dreams or becoming passive in your approach to life. Instead, it's about releasing your death grip on how and when things must happen, creating space for the universe to work its magic in ways you never could have imagined. When we hold too tightly to our desires, we create resistance that blocks the natural flow of energy. This resistance acts like a dam in a river, stopping the natural current from flowing freely toward us. We become so fixated on the specific details of when something will happen, how it will unfold, and what it will look like, that we miss the bigger picture entirely. The universe is constantly orchestrating events behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in ways that our limited human perspective cannot fully comprehend. While we're busy trying to micromanage every detail of our manifestation, the universe is working on a master plan that far exceeds anything we could have planned ourselves. Attachment creates a specific energetic signature that actually repels what we want most. When we're attached, we emit the vibration of lack, need, and desperation. This energy tells the universe that we don't have what we want, that we're incomplete without it, and that we're willing to suffer until we get it. The universe, being a perfect mirror of our internal state, responds to this energy of lack by providing more experiences of lacking. It's not being cruel or withholding. It's simply reflecting back the exact energy we're putting out. On the other hand, when we practice letting go, we shift into a completely different energetic state. Letting go creates the vibration of trust, abundance, and peaceful expectation. This energy tells the universe that we know we are already complete, that we trust in divine timing, and that we're open to receiving in whatever form serves our highest good. From this state of energetic freedom, we become magnetic to our desires rather than repelling them. The practice of letting go doesn't mean becoming indifferent or losing your passion for your dreams. Instead, it means holding your desires with an open palm rather than a clenched fist. You can still want something deeply, work toward it consistently, and take inspired action, but you release the desperate need for it to happen exactly as you've planned. This shift from attachment to detachment is subtle, but profound in its effects. One of the most challenging aspects of letting go is learning to trust divine timing over our own impatient schedules. We live in an instant gratification society where we expect everything to happen immediately. We want our dreams to manifest on our timeline, according to our plan, in exactly the way we've envisioned. But the universe operates on a different schedule entirely, one that takes into account factors we cannot see or understand from our limited human perspective. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine protection, keeping us from receiving something before we're truly ready for it. Other times, what seems like a detour is actually the universe arranging for us to meet the right people, gain the necessary skills, or develop the inner strength we'll need to handle our blessings when they arrive. When we let go of our attachment to specific timing, we open ourselves to the possibility that the universe's plan might be even better than our own. We create space for miracles, synchronicities, and unexpected blessings that couldn't have entered our tightly controlled world. This doesn't mean we become passive or stop taking action toward our goals. Instead, we learn to take inspired action from a place of trust, rather than desperate action from a place of fear. The act of letting go literally creates space in your life for new possibilities to emerge. When you're holding tightly to how things must unfold, you leave no room for the universe to surprise you with something even better. Your rigid expectations become walls that block out opportunities you never could have imagined. But when you release your grip and create spaciousness in your approach to life, you open doorways to miracles. This space isn't empty or passive. It's pregnant with infinite potential. It's like clearing clutter from your home to make room for beautiful new furniture. The emptiness isn't the goal. The space for something wonderful is. In this spacious state of letting go, you become available to receive guidance, opportunities, and blessings that were always there, but couldn't reach you through your walls of attachment. You start noticing synchronicities that guide you toward your desires in unexpected ways. You meet people who open doors you didn't even know existed. You discover paths to your dreams that are far more elegant and enjoyable than the difficult routes you had originally planned. The practice of letting go transforms from someone who tries to force life to bend to their will into someone who dances gracefully with the flow of existence. This doesn't make you weak or passive. It makes you incredibly powerful in a completely different way. Instead of pushing against the current, you learn to navigate with it, using the universe's natural momentum to carry you toward your desires with far less effort and far more joy than you ever thought possible. When you choose to let go, you stop trying to control everything and instead become a conscious collaborator with the intelligent forces that govern all of creation. By doing that, you make space for miracles to happen. Letting go doesn't mean you give up on your dreams or goals. It simply means you let go of the need to control how those dreams should happen. When you release your iron grip on the specifics of manifestation, you create an energetic opening that allows the universe to work its magic in ways far more magnificent than your limited human perspective could ever conceive. This is perhaps one of the most misunderstood concepts in spiritual growth and manifestation. Society has conditioned us to believe that letting go equals giving up, that surrender means defeat, that releasing control is tantamount to abandoning our desires altogether. But this couldn't be further from the truth. True letting go is actually the most powerful stance you can take in relation to your dreams and aspirations. It's a conscious choice to step out of the universe's way, so it can deliver your desires through pathways you never would have considered, at timing that serves your highest good and in forms that exceed your wildest expectations. When you give up on something, you're operating from a place of defeat, resignation, and hopelessness. You're essentially telling the universe that you no longer believe in the possibility of your dreams coming true, and you're withdrawing your energy from the manifestation process entirely. This is fundamentally different from letting go, which comes from a place of trust, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. Letting go means you maintain unwavering faith in your dreams while releasing attachment to the specific ways they must unfold. You stop forcing things to happen your way and start trusting that the universe has a better plan, one far greater than anything you can imagine. This shift from control to trust is revolutionary because it acknowledges that your human perspective, while valuable, is limited compared to the infinite intelligence of the universe. You begin to understand that your role is not to micromanage every detail of how your dreams manifest, but rather to hold the vision, maintain the faith, and take inspired action when guided to do so. The universe, with its vast network of interconnected energies, synchronicities, and divine timing, can orchestrate circumstances in ways that your finite mind could never plan or predict. When you try to control exactly how your dreams should unfold, you're essentially putting the universe in a box, limiting its ability to surprise you with outcomes that are far better than what you originally envisioned. But when you let go of the need to control the how, you give the universe permission to work through all available channels, opening yourself to receiving your desires through unexpected avenues that align perfectly with divine timing. In simple terms, letting go means you stop trying to control the result. It also means ending the habit of worrying about what's next and being stuck in thoughts about what you don't have. Instead, you shift your focus to fully living in the present, trusting that the path is already being made for you step by step. This present moment awareness is crucial because it's the only place where life actually happens. The past exists only in memory, the future only in imagination. But the present moment is where all power, all possibility, and all manifestation occurs. When you're constantly worried about future outcomes or dwelling on past disappointments, you're essentially absent from the very moment where the universe is trying to communicate with you, guide you, and present you with opportunities. Living in the present doesn't mean you become passive or stop planning for the future. Rather, it means you become fully engaged with what's happening right now, trusting that each present moment contains exactly what you need to move forward on your path. You begin to notice the subtle signs, synchronicities, and guidance that the universe is constantly providing, but which you miss when your attention is scattered between past regrets and future anxieties. This kind of presence creates a magnetic quality that naturally attracts opportunities, people, and experiences that align with your highest good. When you're fully present, you're operating from your authentic power rather than from the scattered energy of worry and control. This kind of release opens up a powerful space for new chances, people and experiences to come into your life. The more you let go, the more space you create for magic to happen. Think of it like planting a seed in the ground. You can't control how fast it grows, what obstacles it might encounter underground, or exactly when it will break through the surface. But you can provide the right conditions, nurture it with care, and trust in the natural process of growth that has been working perfectly for millions of years. Your dreams and desires are like seeds that you've planted in the fertile soil of universal consciousness. When you try to dig them up constantly to check their progress, when you worry about their growth, when you attempt to force them to sprout according to your timeline, you actually interfere with the natural process that would otherwise unfold perfectly. But when you plant your seeds of intention with love and care, then step back and allow the universe to handle the underground work, you create the optimal conditions for miraculous growth. The space you create through letting go is not empty space, it's sacred space. It's a field of infinite possibility where the universe can work without interference from your limiting beliefs, impatient timelines, or narrow expectations about how things should unfold. This space becomes filled with synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, divine connections, and breakthrough moments that seem to come out of nowhere, but are actually the result of universal forces working behind the scenes on your behalf. The more you practice this art of divine release, the more you'll begin to witness the extraordinary orchestration that occurs when you step out of the universe's way. You'll start to see how delays that frustrated you were actually divine protection from situations that weren't in your highest good. You'll notice how closed doors led you to open windows that revealed better opportunities than you originally sought. You'll experience the profound peace that comes from knowing that something far greater than your individual will is working tirelessly to bring your dreams to fruition in ways that serve not just your personal desires, but your soul's evolution and the highest good of all concerned. This is the sacred art of divine release, where surrender becomes your greatest strength, trust becomes your guiding principle, and letting go becomes the key that unlocks the door to miracles beyond your wildest imagination. When you plant a seed in the earth, you perform an act of profound faith. You cannot dictate the exact shape of the stem that will emerge, nor can you force the precise pattern of leaves that will unfold toward the sun. The seed carries within it an intelligence far greater than your conscious mind could ever orchestrate, a blueprint written in the language of creation itself. This is the perfect metaphor for how your dreams and desires work in the universe. Just as a gardener tends to their plants without trying to micromanage every cell division and chemical process, your role in manifesting your dreams is to provide the right conditions and then trust the natural unfolding. You water your dreams with consistent positive thoughts. You give them sunlight through your unwavering faith, and you protect them from the harsh winds of doubt and negativity. But the actual process of growth, the miraculous transformation from seed to full bloom, belongs to forces far more intelligent and capable than your worried mind. When you truly understand this principle, you begin to see that your attempts to control every detail of how your dreams manifest is like trying to tell a seed exactly which direction each root should grow. It is not only impossible, but it actually interferes with the natural intelligence that knows precisely what needs to happen. The universe has access to resources, connections, and possibilities that your limited human perspective cannot even imagine. While you are focused on one particular path to your goal, the universe might be orchestrating a completely different route that will bring you something far better than what you originally envisioned. One of the deepest sources of our need to control comes from our terror of losing what we have or what we hope to gain. This fear of loss creates a stranglehold on our energy, causing us to grip so tightly to our desires that we actually push them away. Think about holding water in your cupped hands. The tighter you squeeze your fingers together, the more water leaks out between the cracks. But when you hold your hands gently and openly, the water remains cradled in your palms. This is exactly how the universe responds to our energy around our desires. When we approach our dreams from a place of desperate fear that we might lose them, we create an energetic vibration of scarcity and panic. The universe, which always mirrors our internal state, responds to this energy by creating experiences that match our fear of loss. But when we can release our death grip on specific outcomes and trust that what is meant for us will find its way to us, we create space for miracles to occur. This does not mean becoming indifferent or passive about your dreams. There is a profound difference between healthy detachment and emotional numbness. Healthy detachment means you care deeply about your desires while simultaneously trusting that the universe has your back. It means you take inspired action toward your goals while remaining flexible about how they manifest. It means you love fully while accepting that true love requires freedom, not possession. When you release the fear of loss, you discover something remarkable. What is truly meant for you cannot be taken away, and what can be taken away was never truly yours to begin with. This understanding brings a deep peace that allows you to enjoy what you have without the constant anxiety of potentially losing it. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a beautiful concept called emptiness, which does not mean void or lacking, but rather refers to the spacious openness that allows all things to arise. When your hands are full, you cannot receive anything new. When your mind is cluttered with worry and control, there is no room for inspiration and guidance to enter. When your heart is closed with fear, love cannot flow in or out. The practice of letting go creates what we might call sacred space, an opening in your energy field where the universe can work its magic. This space is not empty in a barren sense, but pregnant with infinite possibility. It is like the silence between musical notes that allows the melody to exist, or the space between words that gives meaning to language. Within this open space, the universe begins to orchestrate synchronicities, meaningful coincidences, and unexpected opportunities that align perfectly with your highest good. You might meet exactly the right person at exactly the right moment, or receive a phone call that opens a door you never knew existed. You might discover that a seeming setback was actually redirecting you towards something far better than your original plan. These are not random occurrences, but the natural result of creating energetic space for the universe to collaborate with you. When you are constantly pushing and forcing and trying to make things happen through sheer willpower, you leave no room for divine intervention. But when you step back and allow, you become a partner with the universe rather than someone fighting against its natural flow. The most profound miracles often appear in the spaces between your efforts, in the moments when you finally exhale and say, "I trust that whatever is meant to be will be." This is not resignation, but recognition of a power far greater than your individual will. An intelligence that sees the bigger picture and knows how to weave all the threads of your life into a masterpiece you could never have designed on your own. In this sacred space of release, you discover that letting go is not about losing control, but about aligning with a control that is infinitely more wise and loving than anything your worried mind could ever orchestrate. There exists a profound moment in every person's spiritual journey when they realize that their carefully constructed plans and rigid expectations might actually be limiting the very miracles they seek to attract. This realization often comes as a gentle whisper at first, then grows into an undeniable truth that transforms everything. When we release our fixed expectations and give up the need to control every outcome, we create a sacred space where unexpected magic can enter our lives with breathtaking beauty and perfect timing. Most of us spend years believing we know exactly what's best for our lives, meticulously planning every detail and becoming frustrated when reality doesn't match our mental blueprints. We hold tight to specific visions of how our dreams should manifest, when they should arrive, and through which channels they must come. But this grip, however well-intentioned, often becomes the very barrier that prevents us from receiving the abundant blessings the universe is eager to bestow upon us. The universe, with its endless wisdom and infinite perspective, sees connections and possibilities that our limited human minds cannot even begin to comprehend. While we focus on one narrow pathway to our desires, the universe sees 1,000 different routes, each one potentially more beautiful and fulfilling than anything we could have imagined. By loosening our grip on how things must happen, we allow the universe to orchestrate events in ways that surpass our wildest dreams and bless us beyond our current capacity to envision. Letting go is fundamentally an act of trust, perhaps one of the most courageous spiritual practices we can embrace. It requires us to be willing to say with genuine faith, "I believe the universe is working for my highest good, even when I cannot see the full picture of how everything will unfold." This trust is not blind faith or passive resignation, but rather an active choice to align ourselves with the intelligent force that governs all of creation. When we cultivate this level of trust, we step into a sacred partnership with the universe, becoming co-creators rather than controllers of our destiny. This is the space where true magic begins to flourish in our lives, where synchronicities multiply and miracles become our natural experience rather than rare exceptions. The more deeply you trust in this divine intelligence, the more consistently the universe shows up in your life with beautiful surprises and perfect solutions that arrive at precisely the right moment. You begin to notice how doors open just when you need them, how the right people appear at the perfect time, and how obstacles dissolve in ways that reveal themselves to have been blessings in disguise. The universe has its own magnificent way of arranging circumstances, connecting people, and timing events that goes far beyond our human understanding or ability to orchestrate. But this divine orchestration can only occur when we stop trying to micromanage every aspect of our journey and instead learn to dance with the natural flow of life. When you truly let go, you simultaneously release yourself from the exhausting prison of trying to control outcomes and free yourself from the heavy burden of old habits, negative thought patterns, and past disappointments that have been weighing down your spirit. You stop allowing yesterday's failures to dictate tomorrow's possibilities and begin to see each moment as a fresh opportunity for miracles to unfold. This process of release is like cleaning out a cluttered room in your soul, making space for new experiences, relationships, and opportunities that align with your highest good. The energy you were previously spending on worry, control, and resistance becomes available for creativity, joy, and inspired action. You discover that letting go doesn't mean becoming passive or giving up on your dreams, but rather shifting from forcing outcomes to allowing them to emerge naturally through divine timing and universal intelligence. In this state of surrender, you become a clear channel for your desires to manifest, unobstructed by the static of fear, doubt, and desperate attachment. Your intuition becomes sharper, your decisions more aligned, and your actions more effective, because they flow from a place of inner peace rather than anxious striving. The universe responds to this shift in your energy by bringing you opportunities and experiences that match a new vibration of trust and openness. You begin to understand that control was never really possible anyway, and that your attempts to force outcomes were actually creating resistance that pushed away the very things you most wanted to attract. Through the practice of letting go, you learn to surf the waves of life rather than fighting against them, discovering that this approach not only brings more ease and joy, but also delivers results that exceed your original expectations. This is the profound paradox of spiritual surrender, where releasing control actually increases your power to receive, and letting go becomes the key that unlocks the door to everything your heart truly desires. When we cling to the familiar patterns of our past, we unconsciously create invisible barriers that prevent fresh opportunities from entering our lives. The human mind has a peculiar tendency to use yesterday's experiences as a blueprint for tomorrow's possibilities, essentially trapping us in cycles of repetition that limit our potential for growth and transformation. This attachment to past outcomes, whether positive or negative, becomes a prison of our own making, where we inadvertently block the universe's ability to surprise us with something far greater than we originally envisioned. Accepting the unknown requires tremendous spiritual courage, because it asks us to step beyond the comfortable boundaries of certainty and control. Most people spend their entire lives trying to predict, plan, and manipulate their circumstances to match their limited understanding of what's possible, never realizing that this very approach cuts them off from the infinite field of potential that exists beyond their current awareness. The unknown isn't something to fear, but rather a vast ocean of possibilities, waiting to be explored by those brave enough to release their death grip on familiar shores. When you truly accept the unknown, you're essentially telling the universe that you trust its wisdom more than your own limited perspective. And this act of faith creates an energetic opening that allows miraculous synchronicities to flow into your experience. This doesn't mean abandoning all planning or becoming recklessly passive, but rather holding your plans lightly while remaining open to divine course corrections that might lead you to destinations far more beautiful than anything you could have imagined on your own. The unknown becomes less frightening when you understand that it's not empty space, but rather pregnant with infinite potential, waiting for your surrender to give birth to new realities. Trusting that what's meant to come will arrive at the right time is perhaps one of the most challenging yet liberating spiritual practices available to us. Our culture conditions us to believe that faster is always better, that immediate gratification equals success, and that delays are inherently negative. But this perspective completely misses the profound wisdom embedded in divine timing. The universe operates according to perfect orchestration that takes into account countless variables we cannot see or understand from our limited human vantage point. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually divine protection, preventing us from receiving something before we're truly ready to handle it with wisdom and grace. Other times, apparent delays are allowing all the necessary pieces to align behind the scenes, ensuring that when our desires do manifest, they arrive in a form that exceeds our original expectations and serves our highest good. Learning to trust divine timing means developing faith in an intelligence far greater than our own, recognizing that the universe's schedule is always perfect, even when it doesn't match our personal timeline. This trust transforms waiting from a frustrating experience into a sacred practice of faith, where each moment of patience becomes an investment in the miraculous outcome that's being prepared for us. In the space of surrender, you literally create energetic room for new possibilities to take root and flourish in your life. Think of your current circumstances as a garden that's become overgrown with old plants, some healthy and some diseased, but all taking up space that could be used for something new and beautiful. Letting go is like clearing away the overgrowth, pulling up the weeds of past disappointments, and creating fertile soil where fresh dreams can be planted and nurtured. This sacred space isn't just metaphorical, but represents actual shifts in your energy field, your thought patterns, and your daily habits that make room for love, happiness, and abundance to flow naturally into your experience. When you're holding tightly to old grievances, outdated beliefs, or expired relationships, you're essentially putting up a no vacancy sign that prevents new blessings from finding their way to you. The act of release creates a powerful vacuum that the universe rushes to fill with experiences that match your new, more open vibration. This is why people often report that their greatest breakthroughs come immediately after their darkest moments of surrender. When they finally stop fighting and allow the natural flow of life to carry them forward. Letting go is far from passive resignation, but represents one of the most powerful and courageous acts a human being can perform. It takes tremendous strength to release control, especially when everything in your conditioning tells you that holding on tighter will somehow force better outcomes. This conscious decision to release attachment while maintaining faith in positive outcomes requires a level of spiritual maturity that most people never develop because they mistake surrender for weakness. True letting go is an active choice that demonstrates your trust in forces greater than your individual will, showing that you're wise enough to work with universal laws rather than against them. When you consciously choose to release attachment to specific outcomes, you're not giving up on your dreams, but rather removing the energetic obstacles that prevent those dreams from manifesting in their highest form. This practice becomes life-changing because it shifts you from a state of resistance and struggle to one of flow and receptivity, where miracles become not just possible but inevitable. The strength required for conscious release builds over time, like a muscle that grows stronger with regular exercise, until letting go becomes your natural response to life's challenges rather than a forced spiritual practice. By clearing the path for the universe to work on your behalf, you remove the energetic blockages that have been preventing your highest good from reaching you. Most people unknowingly sabotage their own manifestations by holding so tightly to their limited vision of how things should unfold that they block the universe's ability to deliver something far superior. When you stop micromanaging the details and trust the process completely, you give the universe permission to orchestrate circumstances in ways that your human mind could never have conceived or planned. This doesn't mean becoming passive or abandoning your goals, but rather maintaining clear intention while releasing attachment to the specific methods and timing of their fulfillment. The universe has access to infinite resources, connections, and possibilities that exist far beyond your current awareness or imagination. By letting go of your tight grip on how things must happen, you allow these infinite resources to flow towards you through channels you never would have thought to explore on your own. This is why the most extraordinary manifestations often come through completely unexpected pathways that surprise and delight us with their perfect timing and creative solutions. Trust that the universe is always conspiring in your favor, even when circumstances seem to suggest otherwise, and by letting go, you give this benevolent force the freedom it needs to work miracles in your life. The more you practice this sacred art of release, the more you discover that receiving is not about grasping, but about opening, not about forcing, but about allowing, and not about controlling, but about trusting the infinite wisdom that guides all of creation toward its highest expression. The universe operates on a profound principle that most of us have forgotten in our rush to achieve, acquire, and and accomplish. The more space you create in your life, the more room there is for miracles to unfold. This isn't just poetic language or wishful thinking. This is a fundamental law of energy and manifestation that governs how abundance flows into our experience. When we constantly fill every moment with activity, every thought with worry, and every breath with urgency, we leave no room for the unexpected blessings that want to reach us. Think of your life as a container. When that container is packed to the brim with stress, control, and desperate grasping, there's literally no space for anything new to enter. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, cannot force gifts into a space that's already overflowing with resistance and tension. But when you create space through letting go, through releasing your death grip on outcomes, something magical happens. You become like a clear, open vessel that can receive the abundance that's been waiting patiently for an opportunity to reach you. This space isn't empty or vacant. It's alive with potential, pregnant with possibility, and humming with the frequency of receptivity. Every breath you take in surrender creates more room for miracles. Every moment you choose trust over control expands your capacity to receive. Every time you release your tight grip on how things should happen, you open doorways that your limited human perspective never could have imagined. The breath itself becomes a sacred tool in this process. When you take that deep breath and consciously let go of the need to control, you're not just relaxing your nervous system. You're sending a signal to the universe that you're ready to receive, ready to trust, ready to allow the natural flow of abundance to move through your life. Everything you've been wishing for, praying for, and working toward is already in motion. The universe heard your desires the moment they formed in your heart, and cosmic forces have been arranging circumstances, aligning people, and preparing pathways ever since. But these miracles can only manifest when you stop blocking them with your impatience and control. Your job isn't to figure out how your dreams will come true. Your job isn't to force the timing or manipulate the circumstances. Your job is simply to trust that the same intelligence that grows flowers from seeds, that turns winter into spring, and that keeps planets spinning in perfect harmony, is also orchestrating the fulfillment of your deepest desires. This requires a level of faith that goes beyond logic, beyond past experience, and beyond what your eyes can currently see. It requires you to believe in the benevolent nature of existence itself, to trust that you live in a universe that wants you to thrive, that delights in your happiness, and that is constantly working to bring you experiences that will expand your joy and fulfill your soul's purpose. When you align with this truth, when you really feel it in your bones, everything changes. The desperate energy that once pushed opportunities away transforms into magnetic presence that draws blessings effortlessly. The anxiety that once clouded your judgment gives way to clarity that helps you recognize and act on divine guidance. The exhaustion that once drained your vitality is replaced by a sustainable energy that flows from being in harmony with life's natural rhythms. Right now, wherever you are in this moment, you have the power to practice this sacred art of making space. Close your eyes if you can, or simply soften your gaze and turn your attention inward. Take a deep breath, not just into your lungs, but into every cell of your being. Feel your body relax. Feel your mind quiet. Feel your heart open. And now, consciously release. Release the timeline you've imposed on your dreams. Release the specific way you think things need to happen. Release the worry about whether you're doing enough, whether you deserve what you want, whether it's really possible. Let it all go, and in that letting go, feel the spaciousness that emerges. This is the space where miracles are born. This is the fertile void from which all creation springs. This is your natural state of being when you're not interfering with the universe's desire to bless you abundantly. Remind yourself in this moment that everything you need is already on its way to you. Not because you've earned it through struggle or proven yourself through suffering, but because you are inherently worthy of love, joy, abundance, and all the beautiful experiences life has to offer. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect to receive its gifts. It doesn't need you to have it all figured out or to never make mistakes. It simply needs you to be open, to be willing, to be present to the magic that's always available when you stop trying to control it. This is perhaps the most beautiful paradox of spiritual living. When you stop chasing, everything you need finds you. When you stop grasping, abundance flows naturally into your hands. When you stop demanding, the universe responds with generosity beyond your wildest imagination. This isn't passive resignation or giving up on your dreams. This is active trust, conscious allowing, intentional receptivity. You remain engaged with life. You continue to take inspired action. You keep moving toward your goals. But you do it all from a place of peace rather than panic, from trust rather than desperation, from knowing rather than doubt. You become like a skilled sailor who knows how to work with the wind rather than fighting against it. You learn to read the signs, to feel the currents, to sense when to adjust your sails and when to simply let the natural forces carry you forward. This is the art of living in flow, of dancing with existence rather than wrestling with it. Stay peaceful in your pursuit of dreams. Stay open to possibilities you haven't considered. Stay willing to receive in ways that might surprise you. And above all, allow the universe to bring you what you truly deserve, which is always more beautiful, more fulfilling, and more perfect than what your limited human mind could have planned. The universe is not withholding your good. It's not testing your patience or punishing you for past mistakes. It's simply waiting for you to create enough space, enough stillness, enough trust for miracles to land safely in your life. Everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to, in perfect timing, for your highest good. Trust this journey, trust this process, and most importantly, trust yourself to receive all the beauty that's coming your way.